choices. We all make some choices that we either regret or we don't. This is one of these questions. Do I regret being a fan of this? Would I do this all over again if I knew it was going to disappoint me again? Because I met some good people while being a fan of these series. And I'm talking with them right now. So we talk about the anniversary of Naruto ending 10 years ago. Hi, my name is Naruto Saku fan in Kentucky.
I'm Blue Star Saber. Sorry.
That's okay. And Phineas DS is trying to welcome Phineas DS, and here comes Flaming Lincoln. Welcome to join us.
I think he said he'll be right back. I think he's currently still doing whatever it is he's doing. But yeah, okay. I will probably say to the audience that I'm only here for a little bit as I'm heading to a karate class, so I'm walking. So apologize in the noise in the background if you hear it. So yeah, so I'm only here temporary, but I figured I'd join, and then once I have to start my karate class, I'll leave. If I have time, if you're still here, I'll rejoin. If not, I hope you have a fun podcast. But yeah,
sorry. It's fine. It's fine. The first thing we're going to discuss is the end. How did you react?
Oh wait, Flaming Lincoln says he's back now.
Yeah, I know. The first thing I ask is this: how did you react to the Naruto ending 10 years ago? Blue Star, you go first.
Just give me a sec. I remember the spoilers from. Yeah, I've unmuted myself now. I was just crossing a few people, so I was just muting myself. But anyway, where was I? Well, to be honest, I saw the spoilers from last night on Tumblr, and I was in a bit of complete denial. I thought, let's see, wait, this can't be real. This has got to be like fanfic, right? This has got to be fan art. This can't be kind of real thing. I was in sort of denial. I saw like all the reactions there were on Tumblr. Everyone's kind of hating it or like despairing. Let's see. So, but honestly, with like the spoilers in mind, for the first time in my life, the first thing I did not do in the morning was wake up to read a Naruto chapter, and spent nearly the entire day not reading it until I got to a certain point where I checked on the Tumblr accounts, and the ending was confirmed to be those spoiler pics. So yeah, I probably would have had a lot more reactive emotions. I wasn't feeling despair for the entire day, or was busy with my course at the time, but also the fact that I was sort of in my course room at the time, and it's like, can't really do any overreaction to like reading something I wasn't really supposed to be reading. So
turn left onto
it was rather disappointing to say the least. But yeah, it was a disappointing ending.
Yeah.
So that was my reaction.
I'm gonna say my reaction. Then Phineas, you can say yours, okay? Okay. My reaction.
All right. How I found out was a bunch of you.
Go ahead.
Wait, are you going first or me?
You go first.
I think I found out from a bunch of like YouTubers that were Naruto fans that confirmed it, and like, no, this can't be right. Till I actually read the chapter, and I'm like, oh, great. Then like something like broke inside me just how it ended and who they got together with. I'm like, something just felt off with it, but I didn't really realize it till I was like a month later after I got through my depression with it.
Yeah, now it's my turn. I remember saying, no, this can't be right. I got up early as 8 a.m. while babysitting my niece. She'll turn 11 next week, by the way. I was reading the chapter, and when I saw Hinata with that girl Himawari or whatever her name was, I was like, oh no, it's true. No, because I remember the leak, like you said, Blue Star. I remember the leaks.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It was shown on Heaven and Earth. I didn't believe it. I like I did with you, like you said, you thought it was fan art too.
Yeah, I thought it was like fan art or something.
Yeah. Anyway, when I read the ending, I was like, no,
Right.
no. When I saw Sakura's page, I was like, are you kidding me? Sakura is a fucking housewife? Really? Damn it!
You probably get a lot of SS fans pointing out that, oh, she's still like head doctor, being in her own Kona clinic. But the chapter at the time implied housewife.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first. So, but still, her character, Kishi ruined her character to me. I don't know how she's written in Boruto, but she was
ruined
dead.
everybody.
She doesn't really she hasn't appeared in Boruto in like over 50 chapters.
That's sad.
Let's see. Yeah, they have a time skip now, and actually the latest chapter is just
Japanese actress isn't feeling good.
So I'm not sure if the anime will voice her that much, but though the anime is not kind of ongoing, it's a Boruto chapter has come out. And funny you mentioned Himawari, Narasaku in Kentucky. It's because
turn right.
Let's see, it's revealed that Himawari has now become the new Nine Tails Jinchuriki, as we see a young baby Kurama back from the dead after the battle against that Otsutsuki with Brian mode. If you understand all those references.
I'm gonna be calm now. I'm not doing that rant yet, but you will hear. You're gonna hear me do a James S.
No, that's possible that he's got it.
What'd you say, Venus?
I said I'm not even sure how that's possible, but there's no rules in Naruto anymore.
Yeah, I agree on that. Okay.
I think Flamin' Low is saying something in the comments. Are you gonna speak in on the mic, or are you just gonna just comment? If so, I think you might want to share his comments. Kentucky.
Yeah. You're Flaming Link. You can either write to me, and I'll read them to you, and see if I agree with you. And I also. Right. I also remember thinking, okay, I got another thing to ask. Is Naruto the worst movie you have ever seen? Vanitas DS, you start.
Yes. Yes, it is.
What about you, Blue Star? Have you seen it?
Hold on, I'm just crossing past a pub, so there's noise in the background a little bit, so I'm just crossing a bit. In terms of, is it the worst movie I've ever seen? It's definitely the worst Naruto movie I have seen. I'm not sure if it's
I'm pretty sure he has seen it.
Yeah, I have seen it. I'm not sure if it's the worst movie I've seen. I mean, I have yet to see Rebel Moon Part 2, which what I can tell, a lot of people are really hating that film. But so I don't know how bad that is. And I have also seen like The Last Airbender. So yeah. So but it's arguably probably the worst romance film I've ever seen.
Worse than Twilight?
I've only seen the first Twilight, so arguably. I mean, granted, Twilight is more boring, I will admit. Naruto at least the last at least has action. It's just I'm not really invested that much in it. But yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't So yeah, that's my thoughts on the last. And I think, hold on, Flaming Lincoln has said that he agrees that The Last is the worst movie he's seen.
Turn left.
So you might want to just pay attention more to the comments there. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
I was
We're keeping
looking.
an eye on
Yeah, me too. Here's this one. Here's this one topic I want to ask. How would you change the Naruto ending?
Well, one, I wouldn't make Nahina and Sasusaku canon.
Turn right.
And two, I probably would have not have had Kaguya as the bitty surprise twist ending bad guy. I'd probably have that as.
Sorry to interrupt.
it.
Welcome, chat.
Hi guys.
Hello,
for being
chat.
late. Hi.
Sorry, you can
Don't
join
mind me, chat. I'm just walking to my karate class, so I'm just joining for a while. But yeah.
Yeah, same here. I was out in town, and as soon as I got home,
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, let's join." So,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, we're just talking. Just asking how the questions before were just asking, how did you react to like the Naruto ending? Is The Last the worst movie you ever seen? And then it's like, how would you change the Naruto ending? I was just in the middle of what I was saying about changing the ending until you arrived. So yeah,
Okay,
just giving you a brief
cool.
update.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'll just finish off what I was saying. Have Madara as like the main big bad, not have Kaguya. And also have Sakura have some form of involvement in the Naruto versus Sasuke fight. How involved, I'm not sure, but at the very least, I think she should dispel the control that the tailed beasts, the control that Sasuke had over the tailed beasts at the very least. Sort of like, I think what people were expecting, like with Hashiyama and I believe Mito Uzumaki or Mikoto Uzumaki, but yeah,
Mito Uzumaki,
Mito Uzumaki, where it said that she sealed it during the fight and then allowed Hashirama to win the fight. But yeah, so that's Tsunade's grandmother and the first Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. But yeah, I've just probably said my piece. So chat, I think you might want to probably just catch up with everything you want to say about the ending, the last, and what you change since you've arrived late.
I guess if it's my turn. If not, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'd say.
Quitting.
I think you should have your turn. Sorry.
It's okay. No worries. It's not a secret to anyone that I didn't like the ending, and I was very vocal about it throughout the years, and I still am. And you pretty much touched upon a lot of the points that I would add. So, for example, Kaguya is a big no-no for me because thematic-wise, it doesn't make any sense. We didn't have any foreshadowing about her, even though the newer fans who come into the fandom, they already read with a certain bias to the story because they weren't there from the beginning of the story.
I literally argued for weeks over one person about the whole Kaguya thing until someone tried to interrupt it.
Something, I understand how they did it because given that, I want to become a published author, I've started, getting to know a lot of the techniques and how you could do this, and that. And basically what they did, they went back into the story and checked, okay, what could we do that would, let's say, somehow relate to the story. So they went back, they looked at the whole thing with Kaguya, the Kaguya clan, and said, okay, let's insert this and add certain, the Kekkei Genkai that Kimimaro basically had. So they inserted her at the end. And Kishimoto even admits so in an interview. I think I still have the certain screenshots from when people on Naruto forums, if I remember correctly, were live texting about a certain Kishimoto interview from Jump Festa.
Is that the one where he said he had no idea how he could beat Madara Uchiha?
Yeah, that's the one, exactly.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think everyone at the time thought maybe he was joking.
Great writer there.
Now everyone thinks, okay, now he was probably telling the truth.
No, I didn't think he was
Yeah,
joking even
given
then.
what happened with Yuha and Bleach, this makes a lot more sense with Kishi too.
I mean, and trust me, I understand it because at some point, even I, as I started writing Kaika now, there are some certain things, for example, let's say Naruto and Sasuke power-wise. I don't know what to do anymore with them because they've literally had the most power-ups in the series. So it's like, what else more you
Well,
can
They
yeah,
do with
can't
them?
really go any higher.
well,
Exactly.
Naruto has
So then,
Naruto has pretty much all the powers of the nine-tailed beast. So for some reason, he no longer has it in Boruto. Though, granted, there's a lot more about that, but that's maybe later. And
yeah.
Sasuke pretty much has a Rinnegan.
Exactly. So they're like maxed up given the the universe of Naruto. So then I started thinking, okay, what else can I do with them? I don't know what to do with them with power ups wise. So that's why I invented other plots for them to be able to have them in a certain way in the project, but without having to deal with the actual power up system. Because as I said, my focus will be Sakura and uh, others such as I don't know Hinata, Karin and stuff like that. Anyway, but to get back to the actual point, so yeah, for me, Kaguya would definitely be a no-no. Or if I would have done Kaguya, I would have done Kaguya in a movie, something like The Last, in the sense that you make it a separate thing on its own, not inserted into the actual story. Another thing that you touched upon, Blue, and I thoroughly agreed, and I even made, I wrote theories about it, was definitely how Sakura would have, I would have liked to see her more involved in the story because the actual story progression, with the narrative elements and the themes and the plots and everything, especially if we're talking parallels, the whole battle between the new Sanins was foreshadowed, but at some point it just dropped. I mean, we literally have the beginning of Shippuden where actually it shows Naruto and Sakura teaming up against Itachi, and we have that whole plot about how you can beat someone with, or how at least not necessarily beat, but at least be able to fight someone with Sharingan, and that was clearly a way for Kishimoto to insert Sakura in the fight. But then we all know how that went, so that was extremely disappointing for me, especially since I did saw how he was trying. Basically he did with Minakushi in the Minato one shot. I'm sure of it. I don't know. I'm so sure of it. I would put my hand in fire for this because
Yeah.
in the Minato one shot, I even wrote about this on my own Twitter. In the Minato one shot, basically the reason why Minato starts learning Rasengan is so that he can help Kushina with her fight with the QB and the others, which is exactly what he was setting up for Sakura when Sakura asked, what's his name, Yamato? Yes.
Yeah, Yamato asking about the Woodsell and the Tenchi Bridge. Sorry.
Exactly. So that
That'd be
was
awesome.
clearly Kishimoto trying to build something there. And to see it just, I mean, pairings aside, whatever, I always said I would rather prefer no pairings or open ending or whatever, but have the damn heroine of our story do something.
Exactly.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I agree.
so for me, that was the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, I thought you said that at the beginning you went there that I would not make Sasusaku no Hina canon, either open ended or Narusaku. That is literally my
Yeah.
kind of like definition. Oh, by the way, I think I should probably let's see, not Kentucky. Flaming Lincoln is right about some of the stuff he'd do. He said he'd scrap the war, have Naruto and Sasuke fight after Pain. During that time, have Kakashi be the one to ask Sakura the question
Yeah.
from Jiraiya, the Gutsy Ninja Tales book. She realizes she had to see either of them return alive. It'd be Naruto. Naruto and Sasuke come to a draw. Sasuke is brought back to the village and held for trial. However, due to Team 7 support, Naruto being the hero, they managed to avoid any lethal action, result in prison time 7 years. Then have the forehead
Now,
scene be referenced by Sasuke and Sakura. She realizes that Naruto made him feel better about her insecurities and flashback to all the times they stood by each other. She tells him her feelings, she accepts, and Sasuke is happy. No sequel. But yeah, that's what you would do.
yeah,
Sorry.
agreed. One thing about Sasuke though. I know many people have, a lot of hatred towards him, while many people have a lot of love towards it. And I feel like none of the camps realize that the truth is somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't imprison Sasuke, to be honest. However, I would do something similar to what what's her name? Arakawa did in Full Metal Alchemist, because
You mean
Sasuke's
with Scar?
storyline, yes, it's basically Scar's storyline. It's one on one. It's the same thing with the genocide with the Ishvalan and Uchihas. The same thing that Sasuke turns to a darker path. The same thing does Scar. They are the antagonist and everything. But at the end of the day, both parts recognize the wrongdoings and work together towards better future. Because we have to admit, as much as we don't like certain things the way Sasuke does it, he was, and that's the point that Kishi tries to come across with. I just think he could have worked some things a little bit better. But he is a victim of the whole shinobi system and all that. This is why I think that the way Arakawa did when she treated the same subject, it's fair for both parties involved, because the plot doesn't excuse Carr for what he did. It admits what he did wrong, but at the same time, the plot also admits that he was also a victim of the same system that
Yeah.
perpetuated that
Yeah.
thing.
The one,
So yeah,
yeah, one of the things that definitely annoys me is the fact that the Uchiha clan massacre, the truth about it never was revealed to the public. And it's like, okay, you're pardoning Sasuke, but you're not giving the reasons why he did those crimes in the first place. It's like,
exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I agree. And plus,
No,
the twist
I
about
agree, Blue Star. They just pardoned everything he did.
yeah,
yeah, go on,
and
Where
Kentucky.
Scar actually was not pardoned.
yes, Scar was corrupted by by
Revenge.
yeah.
The same way Sasuke was, though. Let's not forget, he starts the story as a
I feel like
kid
Scar's
that's
was handled a bit better than Sasuke's.
well, of course. I mean, the I agree. That's why I gave Scar as an example, and I gave Arakawa as an example of the way she treats, sorry, the things as compared to Kishi. I don't know. For me, it's such a why women are, and I'm not saying this, was some sort of gender wars, but I've noticed this generally. Women are generally able to write both female and male characters and treat touchy subjects in a way that does justice to all parts involved, where men
Well,
for some reason brush over it. Because Kishi, how, I mean, what he did in Naruto, he decided to keep all that a secret. Why? Because he didn't want to actually have to deal with the plot point, which is disappointing. I mean, if you
Honestly, I didn't think he really even
insist.
knew how to do what he was doing half the time.
well,
It seemed, yeah.
I do wonder if it might be something culturally with Japan, at least, because I know let's see, politically, Japanese is a very conservative society, at least, or at least politically, at least. I mean, you've had the same political party in for like post World War II, minus like 4 years into elections. So, yeah, I'm not sure if it's that because I don't really know Kishimoto's own political beliefs. Now, he
Mm,
has been criticized as being socially conservative towards women, but I don't know. I could be wrong on that part. I don't know, chat. You were about to say something?
Um, in my opinion, I don't know if it was
I
him.
feel I
Yeah,
feel
go ahead.
Oda can actually do all these touchy subjects good too.
Did you say Oda?
For me, it gets interrupted.
Yeah, I said Oda can do all these like
Sorry, I think chat was just trying to say something there, Fanatus.
subjects.
No, it's okay.
No, I was bringing up about how Oda writes that he can do these like touchy subjects. So
I don't know if it's just for me, but it gets interrupted half of the time.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I hear it too.
So sorry about that. I think you were saying, though, from what I gathered a little bit here and there, that Oda treats these things a little bit better than Kishi.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what
I
he's
think
saying.
the biggest criticism you'll often hear with Oda, really, when it comes to like his writing of females, is more like he draws them all kind of the same. But that's more towards mid time skip, I'd say. That's generally the only criticism I usually hear people talk about when it comes to like
Well,
art
it's
style versus
also
writing style.
But yeah, I think that's more of
Yeah.
his preference and art style. That is, but that's
it's
more of
his
his.
art style. That's the thing. I mean, if you look pretty much, it's the same with what's his name, Mashima, for example.
You mean Hiro Mashima?
Yeah. With Kubo is the same because people also say it's the I don't know, same face syndrome or something like that. I've heard in the fandom. I've written about sorry, not written, read about it in the fandom. So I think this thing, it's not necessarily a valid criticism because it's more like the art style.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say what else I would change about
Either
the
there, it's an easier way to draw the
art in Naruto?
characters.
Go ahead, Phineas. What'd you say, Phineas?
I'd say it's more like an easier way to draw the characters because you'll notice how it starts and how it goes
Yeah, and
on their art style changes.
right. I don't. As long as the character progresses, I don't care what they do. But here's here's how I would handle the ending if I was writing the Naruto ending. One, do not like everyone says, no war arc, none of that, and none of that reincarnation.
Well, maybe not the reincarnation thing, but I'd probably do some type of conflict because it was kind of building up to one in the pain arc. Sorry, go on. I interrupted you.
Yeah, it's fine, but maybe write the war arc a little bit better. Have Madara be
The final villain.
Have Madara be more involved in the story, and not and
At least nerf
and
Madara.
right, and here's one thing I would not do: have Naruto call Obito the coolest guy ever. Not redeem Obito in any shape or form because he does not deserve redemption.
Let's see. I think it really. Sorry, go on.
That's one thing. That's one thing Oda is better at than Kishi. His villains are One Piece villains are better than Naruto villains because most of them are evil. Just for
the Yu Hakusho villains.
Well, I think Oda's villains are written kind of differently to like Kishimoto's. Kishimoto tries to be a bit more nuanced and complex with them a little bit, while Oda, for the most part, has mostly the villains straight up being like the bad guy. Though, granted, there are sometimes villains that do get more depth in their like backstories, particularly like Arlong, Doflamingo, Big Mom, etc. No, that's spoilers. For chat, who's just only really watched the live action, but you were about to say something about Obito and Redemption, chat. Sorry, before me and Kentucky interrupted you.
It's okay, no worries. So yeah, that part about Obito, it really irked me as well, because here we have Naruto, right? Naruto, who's the most forgiving guy and who never, spews any type of hatred at anyone, right?
Right.
Here comes Sakura's confession. where he is like, I hate people who lie to themselves.
Ugh.
That's the only time Naruto pronounces the word hate. Well, not necessarily the only time, but you get the context that I'm trying to say here. Because we also have that fight from the water pool of truth or something like
You
that
mean with?
when
You
he
mean?
faces the Dark Naruto.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
even then, all that hatred he had, he kept it inside. Yet
Hmm.
we see Naruto addressing those words to Sakura, who's been there next to him and always tried to protect him. And I'm saying this outside of a shipping perspective because I know, we could confuse it with the shipping, but no, this is literally from the standalone point of view of a character, not pairing related development. Then comes Obito, who's basically behind
Every worst
minus
thing that's
Madara.
happened. Yeah.
Exactly. And I do understand, and I do like Kishi's way to treat, villains that goes in depth in the psychological aspect of it. However, where I think he falls short, and I think he fell short with Naruto as well, when he indeed had Naruto saying that he's the coolest guy or whatever. I'm like, dude, this is the dude who actually murdered your parents. This is the dude who actually is behind the Uchiha massacre. This is the dude whose fault is because this whole war that you're into is happening. I mean, I get that you want to redeem, your villains. But the one point that Kishi never had the guts to do, which is so ironic because he's writing about, a character with guts, is to admit the fact that sometimes, because that's how life is, no matter how much good you have inside you, how much good you want to do, how much you want to see the good things in people, people do go on that dark path. And even if they are sorry for, at some point of time, of doing those bad things, it doesn't erase all the bad things that they did. And with Naruto saying that he's the coolest guy and everything, it felt like it's erasing all those incredibly nasty things that Obito did. So, in my opinion, Kishi really fell short on that one.
Yeah. I definitely say I'm not against the idea of Obito trying to seek atonement, and I'm not against the idea of him going death by redemption style, like in Darth Vader, if you will. But I will admit, the biggest problem I think was pretty much Naruto seemingly forgiving him and saying the coolest guy, everything, anything. I think at the very least let's see, we should not have fully forgiven Obito, but let's see, let him live just so he can try and atone for his crimes, if you will. Sort of similar to something that happens in the Black Clover. I won't say when, but that's kind of the idea. There's a character I think with a similar sort of crime rate to that Obito did. And I think if Obito was to die, I wouldn't have Naruto getting mad over and going like coolest guy. Maybe maybe he might even agree with some of the stuff that, let's see, if Black Setsu or Mod or some other was goating about all the things that Obito did, but have Naruto say like, yeah, you're right, he did all those things, but hearing it from someone like Black Setsu or Marder, who's like an absolute villain, really ticks me off or something. I think that's the only time I think he can get angry on Obito's behalf. If it's anyone else that's saying those words, he'd probably have to agree and not try and defend Obito. That's probably the only time I think he would be like that you can he can like defend Obito in a sense. It's when someone even worse than him is just spouting all these things, but not when anyone else is like criticizing Obito. But yeah, if that makes sense. Well, I'm not sure if I avoided it correctly.
Right. And you could redeem your villain.
It does. It sounds a lot better than what they actually did.
Right. You could redeem your villains, but they have to earn their forgiveness. They have to they have to progress as a character, not.
Yeah, I will say, Obito trying to save Naruto's life, it was a start. I'll at least say that. Now,
Yes.
granted, let's see. But yeah, other than that, I wouldn't say the redemption is too well done, I think. At least compared to someone like, say, Zuko or Darth Vader. Now, granted,
Yeah,
Zuko wasn't
Zuko
necessarily.
is
Zuko, in my opinion, is Sasuke done right.
yeah, agreed 100%.
And Riku from Kingdom Hearts, too.
For Riku.
Oh yeah, here's what let's see. Flaming Lincoln says Obito's redemption could have been better if the comment wasn't done. Subtracting the comment makes most of his positive actions somewhat better. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you might be right on that.
I think let's see. For those who hate Obito, would have probably hated Obito regardless. But I think those that were either neutral or even kind of liked Obito might have been more accepting if it weren't for those comments by Naruto. I'd probably say, because I still remember how when Obito was revealed to be Toby, the internet reacted and exploded. Half the people hated it, half the people loved it.
Yeah, I initially hated it, but then I kind of liked it. I don't know, I was whatever at the end of the day. But then with that whole thing with he was the coolest guy, I was like, nah.
Yeah, but frankly, I think one thing I'd probably change about Obito is have Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke be a bit more aware of who Obito was, because it's like this is the guy that pretty much what's he affected their lives the most with like his actions behind the scene, but also was the guy that inspired their sensei to be the person who he is today, and also like someone also for Naruto, it's like this is one of like his father's
Alter ego.
students, yeah,
Oh,
and alter egos as well. So it's like see, if many things, Naruto would probably like if he heard about Obito initially, at least from what he remembers from Kakashi remembers, he probably would have admired Naruto, Obito. But then to learn that he was behind all of those awful things, I think he would have felt a sense of betrayal. Let's see, I'm not sure if he would be absolute hatred, but I think he would have felt some sort of like sense of betrayal when
or not,
confronting him.
or not necessarily betrayal, but remember how the whole point that Kishi, goes across with is what would have happened when Sasuke and Naruto meet in the Kage Summit arc if their roles would have been changed. And Obito is actually the perfect example of a Naruto gone bad. So it would have been more interesting to tackle these things, to have Naruto find out that he's behind the Uchiha massacre, he's behind all that things that was behind, and see have something similar to Pain arc where Naruto's ideals are questioned, really questioned, not what they did with the cheap cop out where they kill Neji.
Oh yeah,
Honestly,
The
that's cheap.
the way they killed Neji was I cringed. I still do to this day. And
yeah. It's literally just done just to make Nahina happen. That was literally the
Yeah,
only reason why it happened. It's also arguably the only reason why Kaguya and Yadzukskis exist, so they could make a clan with the Byakugan, be major
Better than
villains in
that.
whatever spin-offs, so they can justify having a Narahina kid as a protagonist for a sequel, if they decide to do that, which they did. I
but
mean, I know I
even
heard. Sorry, go on.
but even I mean, we have the sequel now with Boruto, and if you ask me from what I've seen, because I'm not following it too closely, but
neither am
there's so
I.
much.
Well, I'm not sure if you heard about today's news with the chapter that came out, but
I
Himawari
did.
is now, yeah, yeah,
I did, and it's so badly written, and it doesn't actually explain anything in a way. But I'm waiting for the,
yeah.
official translation
But
to
yeah, I've
see
already seen.
exactly,
So go on.
how they explain it, officially.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's gonna be a lot of difference.
yeah,
And essentially, they don't explain anything if you
yeah,
truly go in depth, because Himawari suddenly being what her chakra. I don't know. There was that explanation with
Yeah, yeah.
resonated or something like that, and she's in the bijou space. They don't explain these things.
From my understanding, apparently her chakra perfectly syncs more with Kurama than any of the Jinchuriki he's had before. So, in other words, even Naruto. So her chakra is much better to sync with Kurama than Naruto, Minato, Kushina, and Mito. So it's like,
A
let's see,
full-blooded Uzumaki.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. You had two full-blooded Uzumakis, one half Uzumaki, and one person that married into the Uzumaki clan.
She's
Apparently,
like what, 1/4 of the entire Uzumaki clan, and
yeah,
suddenly, I mean, come
yeah,
on.
yeah. So that's literally how they've written it. But yeah, and and apparently Ino's kid might be dead.
Ito's kid might be. You
Yeah.
mean? Did she marry Sai?
Yes, he married Sai, and the kid got stabbed, and now that caused Himari to
That'd be like
trigger into Nine Tails mode.
yes.
But yeah, so apparently you're gonna have her, let's see, in Nine Tails some sort of Nine Tails mode. Granted, I'm not sure what mode because at the moment Kurama's just like a mini chibi version of himself against like this
Which
Ten
is
Tails
also
tree cloak.
stupid.
Yeah.
Which is also stupid because that
It might
form
seem the
was.
clones
Hold on, Fernandez. Let chat finish what she was saying.
No, it's okay. I mean,
You said it was.
if you,
You said something was so stupid.
it's also stupid because that kind of form was when the hatred of Kurama was taking over the actual body of its host. But when they're in the so-called sync, it's different.
Oh
If you guys
yeah,
remember. So
yeah.
it doesn't make any freaking sense in the actual universe they're just breaking the rules left and right.
Hmm.
I don't think
But
Kishi. I think Kishi stopped
well,
caring
they
after
don't
his
have any
father
rules
died.
left after
yeah,
the war.
my understanding, I believe chat might confirm this, is that Kishimoto is not actually writing Boruto. I mean, many people think he is, but apparently that was a mistranslation.
Yeah, that was a mistranslation. They were saying that they're actually returning to Kishimoto's drafts, and if you look on the actual credits, he's not credited as a writer. He's credited as the original author, as in the original author of the universe, and the supervisor,
Right, right.
which is a totally different thing.
Sorry, I got confused by that.
No worries.
Yeah. The only other thing I'd probably change is I probably wouldn't make the war arc 2 days. I'd probably make it at least a month or maybe a year tops,
yeah,
and make it
At
a
least a
saga.
week. At
yeah,
least a week.
yeah. I mean, really, like James S. Cassidy said in his Journey vs. Destination video, war does not
Yeah.
make 3 days. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
Granted, that seems to be a problem in shonen in general, where their wars seem to last a few days. But yeah, but who knows? But yeah, but anyway, but yeah, I would definitely not make that 2 days.
yeah, and I would, even though I'm not a Hinata fan, I would have her character grow more. I would have her finally have enough of being pushed around and lead the Hyuga clan. Especially if you're gonna kill off Neji, at least do that.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, if Neji's death was more built towards that instead of shipping reasons, I think most people would have accepted it, even if they wouldn't like it.
I would
Yeah.
have
Like his
accepted.
It
definition.
would have been way better.
Yeah, and I
He'd
would
go
have
on
her
his
lead.
own terms instead of what Destiny had him.
And I would
You
have.
know,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
chat.
No, you go ahead. I can wait.
And I would have Hinata lead a group into a battle, and she she does her
This.
and she acts like a leader rather than the Hugo clan, and her father smiled proudly at her.
Yep.
that's I think that's what have made me respect her character, and I would
That would
and
be
I
way
would
better.
and I would accept Naruhito with that if that happened. I still wouldn't ship it, but I would accept it. But no, it didn't happen. You see, this is what the problem is. Sometimes fans know better than the creator does.
I'm not sure because you do some of the reasons the series ended the way. Some of the reasons the series ended the way it did was because of, let's see, the Kishimoto and Jump editors reacting to what they thought fans were thinking. Well, particularly Western fans.
Yeah, they wanted to open the market, so here we are with the market opened. But it's crap.
Right. But sometimes
I hardly see any Hinata merchant stores I go to.
Yeah, one time I saw one time I went to his FYE.
The merchandise I normally see is Team 7, Itachi, sometimes Minato, and sometimes Shikamaru. So I go on. On to Kentucky.
I saw Naruto toys, and it was nothing but Sakura. I was like, "Where is Hinata?"
Let's see. Sakura has seemingly risen a bit more to popularity recently. Well, granted, that might be more SS fans being a bit more spoken and supporting their merchandise, and also the fandom sort of declining over the years. But I think chat would be a bit more expert on that bit than me, as we did talk a little bit about it in the 99 character poll we did last year.
Yeah. It is true. I mean, the fandom is dying. I mean, even sure, it generates certain views when some shocking thing happens, like when Kurama died or something like that. But compared to the sales that they were doing when
was pointless if they're just back.
Sorry?
I said it was pointless to kill him off if you're just gonna bring him back.
Oh yeah, that's such a cheap move, honestly.
But yeah.
And in 3 chapters later or something like that. I mean, yeah, not a fan of it. But yeah, Sasakos are pretty much the only ones left, at least from the old fandom, that do support their merchandise and stuff like that. However, it's not enough because, and look at it how the whole Boruto is being advertised. Even if it's now like 2 blue vortex and everything, it still relies on the techniques, magic system, and everything, plots and stuff like that from the actual original series. They have the karma thing, which is some sort of merge between Byakugo and Orochimaru's curse seal. They have this resonance things from the karma, which is basically what we had in Road to Ninja with the Dark Naruto and normal Naruto, having that resonance between them.
And you have Osutsuki's inside Boruto making him a sort of host of some sort of demigod, pretty much.
Exactly, which is the same idea, with Naruto being, the Jinchuriki of 9 tails. What else? I mean, these are
you had Kara being the Akatsuki, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no really, how should I say, originality in a way. They're just taking the old elements that we have in the original series and twist them a little bit in the hope that, they're making something new, but they're not. And the way they're doing it, even like one was saying that it's really demeaning. I don't know if that's the word that he was using at some point, but the idea, that's the idea.
Basically, it's Disney Star Wars.
Look, I've watched Star Wars as well. It's not, I mean, having Boruto as an example Star Wars, it's not as bad, honestly. Yes, they did some, things that definitely could have done better, and they have some elements that are cheapened as well, but not to the degree that you have in Boruto, and you guys have to admit this.
Oh yeah, I think even though some you get people on the internet shouting Star Wars is dead, though that might be more politically motivated with the culture war stuff. But there's still at least some interest in Star Wars, I would say. Heck, the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace kind of showed that when you got like, let's see, it made like 15 million in just 1 week when it just was out for 1 week to celebrate its 25th anniversary, which is like, blimey, that's how old the movie is now. And there are movies that are coming out in the following years are going to get some people excited, like
Yeah,
that Mandalorian Grogu film, and that Dave Filoni film, and that Dawn of the Jedi movie, and even I guess, well, granted, I'm not sure how people mix on the Rey movie, but yeah, but there's still at least an interest in Star Wars. Boruto, I think, has pretty much reactively killed off this franchise, and probably the only way to bring it back is to probably maybe just reset the timeline. At the very least, erase the Boruto stuff, but who knows?
No,
And
you
I
can
get,
actually do it with Boruto as a standalone thing. It's
yeah.
a little bit of a spoiler, but it's actually what I'm doing with Kaika as well. I have something inside the plot that explains how all these kind of alternate universes can be possible within the same universe. You just have to have a little bit of love for your craft and for the story that you're working on.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's all.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to head off because I need to now attend my karate class. If you're still here in 2 hours, I will rejoin. If not, I hope you'll have a good day. I hope you have fun talking about some of the things that are currently happening. Maybe like even the possible live action Naruto movie. And chat. There's some things I want to talk to you about doing in the future, but I will save that for later. But it's nice seeing you all again. Hope you all enjoy the
Hey,
podcast.
It's
yeah.
enjoy
yeah.
your
See
things
you
as
later,
well.
Blue.
See you later.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, now it's just the three of us. Four if you count
Yeah.
count Flaming Lincoln. Any- Anyway, here's here's what I'm gonna. Here's another topic.
Yep.
How would if if you were gonna make a story about Naruto and Sakura's kid, Shinakachu, how different? How would you write it to be? Would it be similar to Boruto, or no? Wait, wrong. How similar or different would it be to compared to Boruto, to him as a character and a story?
I'd be
Um.
totally different.
Yeah. So I can give you some soft spoilers, if I may say so, from both Shinachiku Kosen and Kaika. They're pretty similar but different at the same time. So in Shinachiku Kosen, I'm gonna tell like some common grounds that are gonna be as a character attribute, let's say like this, for both Shinachiku Kosen and Kaika. Because I was there, when we started creating Shinachiku and giving him all these kinds of things, and I even made a video on YouTube about him and his history and the history of other Narsaku kids.
Yeah, that
One,
was good.
yeah. So one thing is definitely the
Great videos.
fact. Thank you. I hope to return because my life is always on the move and messy, and I don't have time the way that I would want to make all these videos. But now I'm working on the part two on the Infinite Tsukuyomi video, so hopefully I'll finish that and give it to my editor as soon as possible. Um, but I've been traveling like crazy, and I still have to travel next week, and then have to travel 2 weeks later. So this is why I cannot keep up with what I wanted to do with the videos. But anyway, I'm derailing a bit to get back to Shina. One of the things that we were really adamant about, and I am also adamant about in Kaika as well, is that we don't want Shina to be, handed all these power ups like um, what's his name, Borto is, because it basically cheapens everything out. If you give him everything from the very beginning, what is there
It
to,
does.
Yeah,
achieve?
yeah. I could buy Naruto. I could buy Naruto wanting to wanting him to work for his powers. Same goes for
Exactly.
Sakura because
Exactly.
he wants his son to to work harder and rather to earn his powers rather than be given to it. And that and I think that's more interesting than anything Boruto did.
Yeah, so one of the things that
As
we're
an
playing
example,
on,
Power Rangers Megaforce, they got power ups like every episode for doing nothing.
and isn't that boring? I
Yes.
mean, I want to see a little bit of work. I want to see a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
mechanic of, how do you get to that power up, sorry. How do you work towards that? What are the hardships that you have to go through? How do you overcome those hardships? What is your psychological, mental state, and what is your resolve to get to that? Or what is your resolve if you cannot get to that, at least in the beginning? So you see, there are all these kinds of elements that you cannot just brush over. And this is why Boruto as a sequel is so undermining and so boring, at least for me, and so disappointing. Because trust me, I mean, I had an issue with how the story ended, but I was actually curious to see. Okay, I said, okay, Narasaku is not canon, Sasukari neither, because I'm also a fan of these, given the whole parallels and everything. Anyway, but I said I'm gonna give Boruto a chance because maybe at least I'm gonna have something to look forward towards to from writing perspective. But I didn't find any of that. So this is, I mean, not this is why, because we started working on Shinachiku way earlier when then Boruto was fleshed out as a character. And one of the things that we played on is this inferiority complex that he kind of you could say in a way that he kind of like inherits from both Naruto and Sakura, because we know that both kind of had this, even if Naruto didn't actually admit it out loud. Whereas with Sakura we'd see it more. We wanted to explore that part with them as well. It's something like, my parents are so great, how can I even, you know step on the footsteps that they went through, something like this. um and now I'm not exactly sure in terms of where, because with Shinachiku Kosen, Kirabuk, if you guys remember her, she's
Yeah.
the, you know, this is her idea. We just all agreed to help and
Mm-hmm.
loved to help, and we're bringing from each of our universe, we're kind of bringing an idea and putting it in Shinachiku Kosen, and of course adapt it to that story. But for me in Kaika, one of the things that I want to do, and I said that I want to do, especially since I saw that it's like Kaika is an antithesis of what Borto is now. So I'm gonna get to certain power up levels that you are seeing now in Borto, but I'm not gonna hand them over. That's the thing. They're gonna be, hard work and sweat involved, because otherwise it's cheap. If I just give it like this, what's the point?
Yeah. What's the point of liking your main characters if they were just giving it to them and
Exactly. I mean, I want to tell a story, not to show a story. There's this rule in literature: whenever
show
you write
don't
a
tell?
show, don't tell. Exactly. So I want to show people how Shina goes through all these
Yeah.
things. I want to show people how Hanami does. So I want to show people how Arashi as well is going, because even though I'm gonna have them, for example, linked at some point with certain things regarding their power ups, they each have their own road on how they go to that state. It's the
Yeah.
same thing with the Sasukarin kids. So it's not handover. I want to show the actual mechanics.
Right. And we also want to see them
Yeah, I
struggle. We
feel like
also want to.
Hinata is a telling instead of showing thing.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's so disappointing because the Hyugas are so interesting. The whole concept around them is the reason why I got into Naruto. So first it was the battle that Naruto had with Neji, and then second came Narasaku with that whole battle with Gaara when Naruto tries to save her from the crushing sand. But the first thing that drew me to Naruto was actually Neji's whole speech about destiny. I loved it so much that it was literally the second thing after Sakura that
Yeah,
I
that was
dealt
good.
with.
I've seen a bunch of things about defying destiny.
Exactly. And I mean, I love that so much that I have it, how should I say, as in the story, I wrote it as both a power up thing, but both a thematical, psychological kind of thing. And it's for both Neji and Hinata. Because in the beginning, when I came in contact with Naruto, I was so open with all the ships. I was a multi shipper. I'm like, whatever, anything goes for me. Um, and to see Hinata reduced, because I did like Naruhina as well, and to see Hinata reduced just to, a pairing fodder for Naruto, where we don't treat anything from the Hyuga clan, we don't treat anything from her inner workings, inner process, inner thought process. It was just so disappointing because Hinata, first and foremost, wanted to change for herself. Naruto was the inspiration, yes, but she wanted to do all those things for herself. And to see that that didn't go through, it was so disappointing, honestly.
Yeah, what you said is very accurate.
I assume they just forgot about it because there's like no hint of it anywhere with her character.
I think they forgot about everything. I
I mean,
especially
it's there, but they don't do anything with it
right.
Exactly. That's the problem.
because we really don't know Hinata as a character.
Exactly. We don't know anything.
Right, and I'm pretty sure they didn't develop her character more in Boruto.
And it's why it's so frustrating with how it ended.
Exactly. Um,
As I said, I wouldn't have had any issue with both Sasusaku being canon, neither Naruhina, because I came from a, multi-shipper, um, multi-shipper background.
I
So I
don't.
could have.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, no, you go
I
ahead.
don't see any way Sasu could work.
Let
I'm
me
sorry.
tell you. If you would have seen a redemption arc similar to what Zuko has in Naruto for Sasuke, wouldn't that make it acceptable? At least acceptable.
Maybe, but I
I would have
still.
gone more Prince of Persia in the Two Thrones, where he actually accepts what he does. I would have
That's why I'm
accepted
saying
it if
so.
Sasuke actually accepted what all the bad he did and moved on from it. Kind of like how the Prince of Persia did. He just kept running
And
from his
say
mistakes.
exactly, and it's the same with Zuko in Atla as well. So at least have him, show his thought process, show him how he realizes that he did all those wrong things. Because they, for example, after the ending, we only find out that from interviews with the voice actors, who, of course, given that they're employees of the actual franchise, it's not like they're gonna come and say, especially given the Japanese culture, they're gonna say no, I don't like this or this or that, but have something to show that Sasuke is really remorseful. But then what do we got? We got Naruto Gaiden, where things are the way they are.
Yeah.
The other problem with
Let's,
Sasuke is that they didn't really know what to do with him after Itachi was dead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
Kishi
mean,
did say so.
he had different motivations. Man, I mean, what was Kichi? What is the line drawn? What? What can? I'm,
Yeah, there's
Sasuke
no
got
line.
what he wanted, but it didn't solve anything.
right.
Yeah, so that's why, at least in my opinion, no one has to agree with it. If things like this would have happened, something similar with how you said, Vantas, if things would have been something like Prince of Persia or um, something similar to Zuko, or something similar with Arakawa's Full Metal Alchemist, where we see Sasuke actually working together um, with the rest, and actually feeling sorry for all that he did and seeing the wrongs in what he did.
Don't
I
forget
could
Riku.
have seen something.
Don't forget Riku, who is also, like I said earlier, a Sasuke done right.
Yeah, I'm not familiar, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here it comes. I've been waiting this rant.
Friend
James,
of silence.
go. What'd you say, Phineas?
I said he's an actual friend to Sora.
Right. Okay. Here it comes. Vanitas, you've been preparing for this. This is my rant. Here it
Oh,
comes.
good. You've been building it up, so
Yeah, I should have it written down, but that's okay. Kichimoto, listen to me.
you didn't.
No, so this is probably going to be improvised. Listen to me. Did you get what
Or you're
you...
going off script.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you get what you want? Did you write what you wanted? Because if so, then why did you write develop the characters more in part one? Why didn't you explain to me? How do you explain to me how Naruto and Hinata got together when they didn't show any? How they shown it? I think 38 pages is the most screen time Naruhina ever had.
Yep.
Why did let look at other couples, for example? Edward and Winry, they had more. They had a lot of screen time together, and I don't know. And even if they had less, they still had more development than Naruhina. Sorry. Sorry.
Look at
And
Weston, Jen, and Time Force.
yeah, hell, I disagree with Utara, but they still had more development than Naruhina. And in fact, you never
What, 2 episodes?
yes, yes, 2 episodes. They don't. I didn't say they didn't have any development. I just said they have more than Naruhina. Anyway, why did you write Hinata to be your own character? Why could you write her to be like Katara or Toph or whatever if you're gonna write her to be the main heroine? Matter of fact, what was the point of the bench scene in part one? Were you gonna write Naruto to go back to it as soon as you end the series before your editors changed it? Answer me, damn it! Why won't you? Why won't you tell us the truth? Tell us the fucking truth on how Naruto ended, and then maybe, just maybe, I will forgive you. And if you want to reboot the series, fine. It depends on what you. It depends on what you write and what you change and all that crap. And to Naruto and I heard. Sorry, I'm just rambling. I'm just so frustrated with what the past 10 years. From how you wrote Sakura to how you wrote your characters, to how all the women got the shaft. I mean, everybody got the shaft, granted, except for maybe Hinata and Sasuke. But you get my point.
No, even not, I feel, got the chef too.
Right.
Oh yeah, She got the biggest, even worse than Sakura.
Yeah, probably. And and I hate. Let me go back to Sakura. You were gonna write her to the to be stronger, right?
Yeah, that was a disappointment.
You, I, you were gonna when you got to that page where she was angry with Sasuke before she went on that rant. I was like, there you go.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, are you really gonna? Is this really happening? Is Sakura finally gonna chew out Sasuke for all the shit he's pulled? No, she cried to him, and that's it. Oh no, you're not
Oh,
doing
but
this.
if only.
That's when you killed off Sakura's character. That was the page you killed off Sakura's character. The page when you kill off Uncle Brandon Naruto's
That was
character.
the death nail.
Right.
Yep.
Naruto's character died when he called Obito the coolest guy ever.
You know when I think he died?
What?
Truly?
When?
Begged the right Kage
In the real ending chapter.
at the Kage summit.
What? You mean when he faded?
Yeah, because if you look at it, it's at least for me. I don't know.
No,
I might
when
be
he
wrong. I'm
was on his knees begging the right Kage not kill Sasuke. I feel that's where he started dying for me.
Yeah. And if you were gonna develop Sasuke, don't have Sasuke stabbing Sakura or trying to kill her twice. And don't give me all that. Oh, he was in the right frame of mind. Oh, bullshit. He knew what he was doing. He knew he was not controlled. He was doing this on his own free will. Not that someone was controlling him or hypnotizing him or anything that. He he was being manipulated. He knew he was doing that. That's how couples do not act.
yeah. Sadly, I don't know, man. I mean, I made peace with it. Um, it's been like you said, what, 10 years now? Yeah,
I just stopped
literally
caring,
10 years. Oh my
honestly. I
god.
did.
Yeah, I stopped caring, and I
Almost
mean,
10.
for me, this story. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Um. So yeah. For me, this story meant a lot for various reasons that I won't bore you with it right now. And to see it end this way, it was really, really, really disappointing. It's the reason that honestly I'm not getting into
It was.
series yeah, nowadays. I mean, I don't have maybe it's because, age is a
To me, it's
factor
more
as
like, oh,
well.
they're pulling Naruto with this.
But yeah, I'm like, whatever. I'm not gonna, give my time and energy and passion and creativity and whatever to another series. And truth be told, I didn't do it ever since then. I just watched the Full Metal Alchemist Code Geass after this. I'm currently, I mean, not currently, from time to time, because I do like the whole idea behind what's its name, the one with the vampires. With oh my god, Demon Slayer. Yeah. Um. So these are kind of, the ones I follow, but it's not the same as it was with Naruto. However, that's why I distanced myself. And after coming, I don't know, for 5 years, I was really, on and off, more like off than on, especially compared to how I was before this. I would literally write analysis over analysis and answer to questions and write metas about all, subjects. However, in a way, I still learned to, take the things that I still like and I'm grateful for and enjoy the story in my own way. And this is why I started Kaika. Because basically with Kaika is like I said, like a playground and a way to express my love for the series, for, certain parts of it that I'm really grateful for. Other than that, I honestly don't care.
Yeah. I have a question. Do you
Yeah.
after all this shit, after all these 10 years, if you had to do it all over
Sorry,
again,
like and said,
would you do it? Would you still be a Naruto fan, even if you were going to be disappointed?
I think yeah, because there are certain elements to the story and certain things, even if it ended the way it did. If you would have asked me this, like, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if I would have had the same answer. But the current me says that yes, I would have still done it because even though it ended badly, it still has certain elements about it that it's worth the pain, if I may say so. Naruto's character is really lovable. Sakura, the same. Sakura is one of the most realistic characters I've seen in writing, bar certain elements, such as, the whole Sasuke thing, which honestly, if written in certain ways, I could understand that as well. It's just that we don't get that in the story.
Yeah,
Um, the whole magic system and the whole this is why I loved Kishi because he has a way with his craft, and I mentioned this earlier. The way he likes to go, like he says, underneath the underneath, delve into those deep psychological issues and mental states. This is something that I loved about it, even though if he falls short with resolving them. Um, what else? Honestly, I mean, Naruto for me personally opened me to an entire new world of cultures. Ever since I came in contact with it, I've learned so much about the Eastern
it
culture,
is
about...
the development phase.
Sorry?
yeah. I would say to myself, if I had to do it all over again, I'd still would do it. You know why? Because I'm
It's
talking to.
over to when compared to the last. Genjutsu Water doesn't make sense. No comparison. Then NH is terrible. SS is inexcusable.
Yeah, the way it's written, I agree. It's just really not my cup of tea.
According to Flaming
Yeah.
Lycan.
Yeah.
In that part,
Yeah.
I seriously don't see why thinking about Sasuke stabbing Sakura.
Uh, I think that's probably my most hated page in the Naruto series.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either, and people are like, but he also stabbed Naruto, he also stabbed Karin, and he whatever, this and that. But there's a difference in nuance to every context that he stabbed others. With Sasuke, I'm sorry, but the way Kishi wrote them, at least up to a point when they decided to change and have them be lovely dovely in the Boruto era.
It makes Sasuke makes Twilight looks like a look like a loving couple.
Absolutely, and hey, at least in Twilight's defense, there was a reason that what was his name? Edward, I think, if I remember correctly,
I
did all
never read
those things.
Twilight.
No, I watched the movies. I didn't read it either, but I watched the movies, and at least from the movies, from what I saw, he was doing all those things because he was trying to protect what's her name in there. I don't know. I don't remember.
That's how bad Twilight is.
But yeah, But it's just to me, honestly, it seemed like an exaggeration with it on both parts. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. So it's just some mediocre story, if I may say so. Bella, yeah, that was her name. Thank you. Um, but at least in there, as I said, you were actually shown that the reason he gets distance from her and all those things was that, he had all those issues. He was a vampire, she was a human. So you kind of understand that. You kind of see that why they're doing. The fact that, maybe it could have been done better, of course, it's another thing. But in Sasuke's case with Sakura, we never see him thinking about it.
Did it,
The
did I
only
read
time
did I read correctly that they never kissed on? Because I could have swore I read that I.
it's implied that they didn't. It's just that's the thing. Kishi wrote them very wishy-washy, if I may say so. He let it up to interpretation. There's a part where, of course, you could read it as they never kissed, but then again, it's like, how can you make a baby if you never kissed? See what I mean? It has to be like some sort of
Right.
physical contact.
That's when.
Um,
That's when I thought. That's when I thought Sarada was Karen's kid.
well, they did make a whole plot, and I'm sorry, but the mannerisms, because yeah, I understand you can take certain attributes through the way you're educated. But the mannerisms, it's something that you get genetically. And I'm sorry, but at least I sh- she seems really like more of a I think in the beginning at least I thought, "Oh my God, this is a mess." So I think she's like Karin and Sasuke's kid for some reason, but Sakura is raising her because, to protect her
She
from
looks more
Orochimaru
Karin
and
than
something like that.
Sakura.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No, he did not plan Naruhina and Sasaki.
No, no,
Sarada
no.
is Sarada is a Sasuke Karen kid.
She does seem that way through, the way she acts. But then there's no consistency though with that either, because if you look at it, I actually observed how the Bordo creators kind of do stuff. I've seen elements from my theories in there. I've seen elements from theories that Narhina people were talking about. I've seen elements from talks that Sasusaku people had. So what they're trying to do, that's the thing. They don't have a consistency even with the character development slash attributes because they're so preoccupied with milking this and trying to cater to fans that they forget that all that you actually need is quality and consistency. And there's no consistency in the way that they develop these characters. One day they act one way, the other day or the other chapter they act the complete different way, depending on what they
I'm just
read
shocked.
on. Sorry?
What did you say, Vanitas?
I said I'm in just utter shock they have no consistency.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from all the sequels, and I don't know if I've seen a lot of, and I don't even need to see a lot of sequels, to be honest. I just need to see this because at the end of the day, we're talking about this because I'm looking at it from a writing perspective. I've never seen a sequel being so badly written, honestly. Because I don't look at the, surface level thing that, oh my God, this one got a power up and it's so cool because it reminds me of Naruto, or oh my God, this one did this and that, and it reminds. No, there is a certain way that, you can make those callbacks because Kishi also did the same callbacks with the old generation in the OG Naruto, but there's no like originality to it, there's no like flow to it, there's no like organic, how should I say, growth or organic development, and
It
it
feels
just
hollow.
cheapens everything
These
out.
callbacks.
Exactly, they don't have meaning, it's like they're missing the soul that the original story once had. That's the
What?
issue, at least from my
Basically, it's
perspective.
nostalgia based.
Exactly, they're trying to, play the nostalgia card, but they're doing it so bad because you're not gonna gain nostalgia sympathy from your readers if all that you do is shit on the very element that is supposed to evoke that nostalgia. Because we're not going to get nostalgia from Himawari, for example, getting the actual Kurama mode or whatever that's supposed to mean, when you come and say that her chakra is the best from all the predecessors. You're basically shitting on all those predecessors and saying that they were so bad and you're the best. No, that's disrespectful for, towards the people that actually um
Yeah, it makes it so like it doesn't even matter.
mhm. And I think I did see what I wanted to say. Wait, my thought pattern just went a bit out the window. I don't know. I forgot. It just flew away.
Yeah,
But
this
anyway, yeah,
there's
it's not good.
yeah this series came so bad we forget it. We're forgetting the bad stuff. Um, yeah. Like a, I I was thinking back to 631, and
Mhm.
when Minato asked Naruto that's his girl, and Naruto said, "You could say that," and
Mhm.
I just remembered he lied to his father. I mean, I remember this one comment on I forget it was either in Heaven and Earth forums or DeviantArt, but there's this one comment where Minato and Kushina meet Naruto and Minato was telling Kushina about Sakura, and then Naruto said, "Hey, Dad, this is my wife Hinata and our son and our son Bolt.
I think
We
that was
fell in
on
love.
Facebook.
What? Uh,
I think I
we fell in.
remember the one you're talking about. I guess on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so too. I saw it
yeah.
at some point.
Anyway, we fell in love through Genjutsu, and because in front of the moon. I think that's how it happened. And both Minato and Kushina stared at him blankly, and Dry came out of nowhere and said, "What?" Even he would be shocked by all this,
Yeah.
and he was a pervert.
Mm.
I mean, would you say the pain arc was the last good arc in Naruto?
Storytelling wise, yes.
Wait, hang on,
Well,
guys. I
actually,
gotta.
to be fair, what'd you say, Vanitas? Anyway, I think the Kushina arc when Naruto met his mom for the first time, that was pretty sweet.
That's a good one too, but I see it more as how should I say? Like an extra in a way. I'm not exactly sure. It's very good, but it's something like a detour, a nice detour to the actual overall plot of Naruto. That's why I say that storytelling wise, given, if we look at the context of the issues that were in the Naruto plot with, the shinobi system and the socio-economic perspectives and everything, for me, pain arc is, but agreed, it's like, how should I say, when Naruto meets his mom, it's like that special kind of, I don't know, armor or something like that you get in a game. But it's a special thing, just like once. You get it once.
Right.
Whereas the whole how should I say, the whole The pain arc, it's part of the main storyline.
Yeah.
But agreed, it was one of the most emotionally charged and beautiful stories.
Yeah, what if? Oh, something just
Yeah,
occurred to me.
Go ahead.
Kushina's
Yeah.
story was the best.
Say it again.
I said Kushina's story was the best part of the series.
Yeah, she won. What if? What if Kushina got?
Probably my favorite value.
Yeah. What if? What if Kushina met with Naruto with Minato after during the pain attack? Would that be? And they explained the story. That would have been
That'd
awesome
be
too.
cool.
True. I mean, you could, I guess you could do it like this as
Yeah,
well. Or meet both or something like this. I don't know.
And and the last thing they do before he sees them off is give them both a hug.
Yeah, it could have worked. It would have been a nice thing, I guess.
But what
Though I
happened?
don't think we would have had, sorry to interrupt. I don't think we would have had time to explore all the, you know, nice things about their love story and stuff like that. So in that sense, I think Kishi did well.
Yeah,
Have her later.
there's some many bad things that I've forgotten, but when I think of the good things about Naruto, I think of that time and Sakura fighting Sasori. That was I think that was her best moment.
Yeah, that's definitely the peak of the character.
That's when I that's when I thought Sakura's character was gonna progress.
Same.
And
And to have her not progress,
I guess something from blending like an Kushina's retcon in Boruto. Kishimoto made the one shot, and that's spat on the retcon that says Kishimoto wanted.
why does that not surprise me?
yeah.
Because I know
It
Greg made a video about Kushina saying, like, is she even in Boruto? Like, there's no pictures
I don't think she is, but
of
I don't
her.
know if they would have. Oh, but they do have a picture with Minato. But I guess you could explain the picture with Minato since he was the Hokage.
Yeah, but there's surely there could have been
I think it's more like
pictures.
they want to get. I feel like it's not to address the whole Narasaku thing,
Yeah, they're trying to,
considering how much
avoid.
Kushina and Sakura are alike.
Yep. But hey, at the same time, they're trying to, have Hinata be similar to Kushina. So it's like,
No, no, I see in any shape or form how similar Hinata is to
It
Kushina.
just doesn't work.
Right. I mean, I read that they're trying to make her a scary mom, and said, no, no, that's Sakura.
yeah, agreed.
And I'm. Have you seen the last chat?
Oh, I have.
Is it the worst movie you have ever seen in your life?
Storytelling wise, and yeah. So you have a plot that doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense because we've never had, you know, like in the story
And it's
telling
stealing
us
from
that,
other
hey,
series that have done it better.
better job at it, probably. But yeah, the point is that they never, suddenly we have people that can live on the moon, so to speak, though we're never shown that being possible in the actual universe mechanics. Then you have that whole thing with Tensei Gun, which is a really important thing, but not so important that they explain the whole mechanics, which is why I kind of took it upon me in Kaikai, and I have a whole lot about that as well because I found it really fascinating. It's just that it's badly done, but I did like the concept. Then you have the power, the so-called Byakugan slash Tenseigan power-ups, who honestly, from a mechanical, magical point of view, they don't make a lot of sense. I'm not exactly sure what it was supposed to do. They did show at some point that they took Naruto's chakra, but how does it affect him in the sense that, I don't know, it does it affect his spiritual chakra or his body chakra? It doesn't explain anything of the sorts. It just makes Sakura, being able to um pour the chakra into him and save him. The Narsaku part is so horribly treated. We all know that supposedly, Sakura, and for some reason, sorry, Sakura says that, remember when you said you loved me? When? We never had that. That was the whole point of the OG. He keeps his love for you not, out in the open. So it's like, what? You want to tell me that he somehow magically confessed or something like this off screen, or Sai told well, yeah,
Yeah,
he did tell Sakura, but did Sak so it's really, and for her to say that thing is so stupid, because in OG she basically breaks when she hears that the reason Naruto suffers so much is because of the love for her. So how can you say that it does a disservice to Sakura's character as well? How can you say that he got hurt to the point that he did only because of rivalry? Like, what the
did
hell?
did Naruto realize he knows in the when he was disguised as Sasuke?
Plus, if you
He
look at
knows.
it, there's no indication that it was ever about the rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, he said he knows why he liked Sakura so much because she wanted to be accepted too, and that's that's a good reason to love somebody, right?
Yeah.
That's why Naruto worked. They not just Kim.
And plus, with the
Kim is,
last, it just feels like the writing is making it feel like it doesn't feel like it's Naruto.
it's like it's like the
Yeah,
writer.
it's not.
It's
It's a
like the
totally
director.
different Naruto.
It's like the director and the writers. I heard the director died, and may he rest in peace. Has has never watched the series or read the manga.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, honestly, because it doesn't feel like a Naruto series.
No,
All the other movies
I mean, this isn't like
did.
with
Yeah, go ahead.
this isn't like with Wrath of Khan, where the director didn't watch any Star Trek, but he went back and watched like the whole original series to make Wrath of Khan.
right.
Exactly. So it's like you can
It's
actually
like
do.
it's like the writers of Naruto are like J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson of Star Wars when they wrote Star Wars. Like they never watched Star Wars.
Yeah. So that's the
Apparently,
issue. It
according to
doesn't.
Lycan, the last was redone.
It was done 3 times.
According to
Really?
Lycan, the last had 3 script revisions. Yeah, the
I
script
don't
was redone
remember,
three
honestly.
times.
I do know from what I remember that at some point Kishi modified the certain scene with Naruto and Sakura, but I cannot vouch for it. Honestly, one of the things I do regret is not saving every piece of information that we had back then. Because nowadays people are like, you're lying, you're this, you're that. We've lost so much good information just because we didn't save it, because people were so unhappy at the end, and they felt so betrayed and so hurt and everything, that they just deleted their accounts, and all that information that we got, it's just lost somewhere in time. And I wish we could have, or at least I could have saved a lot more of that information, because one of the things that pisses me off is someone making me a liar. Dude, I literally have no reason to lie. I mean, you won.
Yeah. I mean,
You won.
why would you have any
Why is
reason?
it so hard to admit that they just went so wrong about this? Because it doesn't make a disservice just to my parents, it does a
Because
disservice to yours as well.
they wouldn't feel justified that they won.
Yeah, but you won. It doesn't matter, justified or not justified.
Yeah,
This is why from time to time when I get, because I was able to,
Yeah.
I have my ways of getting.
according to Flaming Lincoln, Junko never said the line, but it was said in the novel. It was so bad. I'm
What's in the novel? I cannot remember, but I do remember there was a talk about the um I do remember there was a talk about an interview about something like this, that Junko refused to say a line.
I heard he was a I heard she was a Narasaku shipper.
Yep.
So
She was very interested at the beginning of Shippuden how things were gonna evolve between Sakura and Naruto. That interview I still have. That proof I still have. And every time someone is like, you don't. Nah, nah, nah. I do have the proof for that.
now, according to Lucky Cheese 7, Kate Higgins, the English voice for Sakura,
Oh, yeah. She's not a
became
fan of Sasusaku.
what?
She's not a fan of Sasusaku.
Yeah, she was a Narasaku fan, and
Sorry.
and
Yep.
I heard she phoned in her performance on
I
the last.
believe that Billy Yuri are
Say it again, Vinius.
I was gonna say, like, I can imagine, like, in real life, they're probably her and Yuri are probably friends, but I agree that she was phoning her performance in.
Yeah. In fact, I think my favorite Sakura
In a
performance
script like
was
that, I'd probably phone it in too.
yeah, and she's a great She's a great voice actress.
Yep.
And
Agreed.
She is.
She even dissed Sasuke in a recent thing. She was very subtle about it, of course, but she did diss them. I have a post on my Twitter and on my Facebook because I couldn't help it. I had to, keep it there for posterity, for the internet's archives.
right.
Yeah. There's a mess. That's the issue. I always said, dude, I don't have any issue. Okay, you chose to end the series with the pairing that you did, but you didn't have to do it that way. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, executed better. I mean,
Exactly.
I've read some, not. I've read one time a Naruto fanfic, and it was handled better there than in Naruto the Last. I would have preferred that happening.
Exactly. The issue is that, like you were saying earlier as well, fans have a lot more love at some point for the series than the actual creator, I guess, or the supervisors. It depends because it's messy. Because you work with a publisher, who knows what kind of contracts you are under. So that is that. But as I also said earlier, all it takes is love for your craft and respect for the others around you, for your characters, for the people you work with, for your fans, your audience. They didn't have to do things the way they did, you know?
Right?
And yet they did it to spite people, which is, I mean, dude, you're a big ass publisher and you act like a 5-year-old? Really?
Yeah, that sounds like Teen Titans Go. That
I mean,
reminds me of Teen Titans Go, taking a shot at the haters of the. I mean, instead of addressing criticism, they they say, well, you should be watching cartoons anyway. That that goes against what being an animator should be. Because animation should be, you should make it for the
Basically, you're
whole.
just attacking your audience.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
Look, on one side though, I do get it. Fandoms nowadays though are a freaking battleground. No
yeah,
one has any respect. People are entitled as fucks.
Oh yeah, they
Sorry,
are.
my language. So I do get at some point being fed up with everything, but you're such a big entity. You have a moral, at least from my point of view. I wasn't, I'm not in their shoes, but the way I see it, you have a moral responsibility to be the bigger person and do things in a way that doesn't do disservice to you or the audience, even if the audience doesn't agree with the way you do things. As long as you've done it, nice and peaceful enough. If the audience wants to get pissed at you, that's not your problem. You have your soul clean that you did the best that you could do in the given, context. But what they did with the Naruto ending, it's not the best that they could do.
right. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Sutarans knew that Zutara would not be canon, but they accepted it because the Avatar ending was written properly. And hard to believe that's been. And I have not seen the live action Avatar. I hate to get off topic, but I've not seen the live action Avatar. I
Which one,
heard
the Shyamalan or the Netflix?
Netflix.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's bad, isn't it?
I tend to say more bad than good, honestly. I mean, it does have. I don't want to be a hypocrite. It does have good elements, but compared to the original series, it's really undermining. And one of the things that it pisses me off greatly is that they basically erased Katara's whole personality, and Katara is such an integral part of the story. She's the one who basically tells the story, for God's sake.
Yeah,
It
Katara,
feels
old
to me that
Katara can't exist in modern Hollywood.
exactly they stripped her of everything that made Katara so freaking interesting as a character. And my impression is that whatever was good about the female characters was given to the male characters.
At least the One Piece live action series. Oda is part of the writing series,
You can definitely see that.
and I've heard that they're gonna make a Naruto live action series, and Kishi's gonna be part of the writing process. That's I'm still not gonna see it because Kishi lost me wherever.
I don't know. Maybe I will see it, maybe I'll not. I'll probably see it just out of curiosity because I am a curious cat.
Yeah, Blue and
But
Greg might cover that.
Who?
Blue Star and Greg.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
They
they
know they
might
just did a
definitely.
video talking about it.
I remember Greg did a video on
Blue Star's probably
him-
going to since he covers Naruto stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll live and see at the end of the day. But I, for one, I don't have any hopes. I mean, you know how that saying goes? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Or no, fool me once, sorry, shame on you. Or fool me twice, shame on me. Something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. But the point is, the
Yeah, I
franchise
get what you're
overall.
saying.
I think it was George W. Bush, but I'm not sure. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, I mean, hey, bad people can make good points sometimes. It's just how, life is. We have a saying here in my country, though it's more related to religious official. Uh, it goes something like, do what the Pope says, not what he does, in the sense that, they might give you good advice. Take the advice, not the way they act, because the way they act can be really, So, yeah, I guess sometimes people you don't agree with might make good points.
Yeah, that's true.
Life is funny that way.
And sometimes you disagree with people you do like, and that's
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You could
Exactly. I mean,
you could disagree with people and still be friends, whatever it's religion, politics, or sports, or anything.
Just be civil about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
and
That's
that's and that's the problem with the Naruto and Star Wars, and you could say Star Wars and and uh, I'm thinking of another Phantom, but you get my point. That could be toxic, but some
what fandom
toxic,
isn't toxic nowadays, honestly.
what
What fandom isn't toxic nowadays? I haven't seen a good, let's say, fandom from this perspective.
that's true.
Nowadays, everything is messed up.
Yeah, but I like to think there are more good people than bad.
True, and good people usually don't make a lot of noise.
Yes. Anyway, let's back to the Naruto live action. Here's how it would work if I would think it would work. Have Kishi write it the way he originally wrote it. And he says this is how I really originally wanted, but Studio PR interfered with it. But I have more freedom here in the live action one.
Mm,
Maybe that can work.
I don't know. I don't. Where it's. I have this love-hate relationship with Kishi right now.
Maybe. Depends on how much freedom the studio gives.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Naruhina and Sasaka was more SP than Kishi.
Oh, definitely. I agree.
I mean, what if? I know it's probably a long shot and probably won't happen. What if he made Narasaka canon in the live action Netflix series? Well,
But it's not a Netflix series though. It's just gonna be 'cause that's one of the issues I remember people talking about. How are you gonna fit the entirety of Naruto in one movie?
Might be a series of small movies.
oh, I thought it was going to be a Netflix series.
No, it's just a movie.
Now you need
Oh.
at least like 4 movies.
Let me rephrase that. What if he made it
You can't
canon?
come chapters into like 2 hours.
Yeah. Here's how he could possibly do it to make it work. Make Sakura not have a crush on, have a crush on Sasuke, but as she grows out of it, and then helps her and helps some people that are in need of her, and she says, she wants to be a doctor, and she wants to be a doctor so she can help people who matters to her, and that includes Naruto. And then have this one scene where a little girl looks up to her and says, "I want to be just like you when I grow up," and that causes her heart and ours to swell a little bit. And I think I've
Shows
I
she's
think
making a difference.
have Sakura and you could have Hinata have a crush on Naruto, but have her grow out of it because she wants to go and have her grow stronger rather than realizing it and having. Here's another way that they could have had Neji's death handled. Hinata could have blamed herself and said, "This is all my fault." But I don't think that ever happened in the manga.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, and
That would have been
someone
rare.
and someone tells her it's not her fault. Kish, um, Neji would not have blamed. In fact, he would want you to lead this clan to victory, help lead this war to victory. He would want you to continue to fight and not give up. Either have Naruto or someone else say it.
Yeah, that would have been nice actually, and it would have been a way to have her, resonate with Naruto's way, but not be a carbon copy. Because that's my issue. It's just a carbon copy. There's no originality to it.
Right, and she makes this speech about, and she makes this
Or
inspirational speech about not giving up and not and keep on fighting until we can't fight anymore, or die trying, or
Yeah, something like that. Basically,
and
basically what Sakura did, if you
yep,
think about it. Because Sakura was like, "Yo, get your asses to work rather than, giving up right now. At least fight till death." Of course, this is the oversimplified version of it.
yeah, boom,
or as Cap, or as Cap says, if you get killed, walk it off.
yeah,
Mm,
that's, that's probably the best line in Age of Ultron, which was the
yeah,
weak, which was the weakest Avengers movie. Still good, but the weakest.
I don't remember Age of Ultron. I do know
Yeah,
that I watched all the
compared to
fucking.
the other three,
It's way better than current MCU
those
movies.
live action, they just completely cut him out.
Cut who out?
What if in the live action Naruto they just cut Hinata out completely?
Yeah, I mean,
Like in One Piece, they
I mean,
cut stuff on the arcs.
yeah, the cut Hachi, and Hachi's important.
Well, maybe they.
They also
I don't know.
cut his three friends.
Yeah, Johnny and Yusaku. I
They
mean,
cut
I
half
like
the
the series.
crew out.
Right. I mean, I like the series fine, but I wish
I mean, it's a
more
good
stuff.
adaptation for the most part.
Yeah, because like I said, Oda
Yeah,
is
you're
part of the
condensing like 50 some chapters into like 8 episodes.
right. And you told me you've never read One Piece, right?
Who,
Chat.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never read it. It's the art. The art style for me is too heavy to follow. Honestly, it's too has too way too many details. I don't know. I'm not necessarily a fan. I do like, at least from what I saw from the actual Netflix adaptation, I do like the storytelling. But I couldn't find I couldn't get used to the actual art style. Although back when I started Naruto, or not when because I started Naruto way before 2008, something like that. But somewhere in 2013, if I remember correctly, I did try to give it a shot, but I just couldn't go past it.
Yeah, I just got in the series last year, and I'm been a huge One Piece fan ever since.
I can totally get that because from what I've seen
Mm-hmm.
in the live action adaptation, I just love it.
Yeah,
Oda is really a genius.
he is.
He got the
He
aesthetic of
knows
the
what he's doing,
series down pretty good.
and Oda knows what he's doing with his characters.
Oda, to me, seems the kind of author I'm trying to be like. the kind of author who just puts so much detail into everything and doesn't leave out, loose ends and stuff like that. And I only got this from what I saw in the live action. And I think the way he is like this because I've observed the way he draws. He's someone that's my issue with One Piece. There are so many details that for me it's hard to follow. I like more spacey
Yeah, he does a
and
lot of like world building and
airy.
setting up other arcs.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So he knows what he's doing. He every detail makes sense at some point, either in the future of the plot or something like if he wants to go back and have a certain thing connect to another thing and stuff like that. This is the kind of impression Oda gives me from the brief things that I've seen about him and his way of working.
Yeah, he knows his story since I've heard he like first lives for One Piece like all the time. Like he will not stop.
Yeah. um, but although he did take a break after Toriyama died,
Yeah.
and I agree with the retrospect Greg here
Yeah.
on his Naruto, on his Rise and Fall of Naruto. Kishi should have just taken a month off, especially after his father died. I mean, did he went back to work a week after his father died, or
Yeah. He only had that week.
yeah,
At least just playing the ending out.
yeah. I mean, and don't. I mean, was he rushed to do the ending? Do you know that?
Yes,
I don't know what to say,
pretty sure he
honestly.
was.
I don't think he was rushed. I think he just got fed up with it. Because I remember, and I do have a screenshot somewhere saved, where they were talking about how they wanted Kishi to continue writing Boruto, the sequel, basically. And he was like, let me rest. So, yeah. Imagine.
Yeah. Um, I was. I was also thinking. I was also. You were. We were talking about Shinakachu and Hanami. What? What? I imagine Hanami being the pranks, calling herself the prankster queen because she gets some of that from her father.
Oh, definitely.
And
She is the prank queen.
yeah, and I was wondering who would be her voice act, who would both be kids be voice actors. They're English dubbed.
English dub we haven't thought about, honestly. We just thought about Japanese
Japanese.
ones and we put those videos. I cannot remember their names
Yeah, I
right now
saw.
because
You
I'm done.
saw. I saw them. I don't know.
But English wise, honestly, I never thought about it.
I have. I have in my fix. I haven't imagined be voiced by Johnny Young Bosch because he can do a little boy voice.
Yeah, I guess I'm not very familiar with American VAs. Sorry.
That's okay. And the voice of Dami, Lucy Christian, is the voice of Hanami.
hmm
She, she could use her Ochako voice.
I'm trying to think out of all the cartoons I've seen if there's a certain character I would see. Though for Arashi, you know who I would see as voice actor?
Who?
Aang's voice actor. Aang from Atla.
Who?
Aang. Sorry.
Aang.
Yeah.
Too bad his voice changed.
I know. I've heard so. I've heard that his VA actually quit after he voiced Aang. But yeah, the general feel of Arashi is basically Aang.
Um, yeah, I don't know much about Arashi. What's his character like?
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, so he's kind of like shy. He's kind of the version of Sakura when she used to be bullied in her childhood. He's very shy, he's very introverted, and he doesn't, not that he doesn't want to have a lot of friends, he just doesn't have a lot of friends because he's more focused. He's very passionate about, scrolls and everything. This is why in both Kaika and Shinachiko Kosen, he's gonna be like the revival of the Uzumaki clan. I even ordered some commission, I think last year, on Kushina's birthday and his birthday, because we wanted to have him be born on Kushina's birthday as a tribute to her. Um, so yeah, I mean he does have a few friends. Don't get me wrong. In Shinachiko Kosen, he's very good friends with Shikamaru and Temari's son, and with Gara's son. But yeah, he's very selective from this point of view because you could say in a way, I guess, that he's more preoccupied in living in his own world rather than he's not a big fan of the shinobi system. In Kaika, at least, I don't know exactly how we're gonna do Michinochi Kukosen with him, but in Kaika, the way I thought about him is be more of a spiritual guy, if I may say so. A spiritual kind of character.
Right.
So yeah, this is why for me, in a way, even though, because Ang is more outspoken, but in terms of life philosophy and stuff like that, and overall feel, if I were to make a comparison, Ang would be the counterpart of Arashi to me. But yeah, he's very, nature oriented, bijou oriented. We call him the Pokemon master because one of the things that we have planned for him is for him to, yeah, that's we say that because as I said, he's a very nature oriented character and spiritual at the same time. So he'll manage to have contracts with a lot of, these uh, mythological animals in the Narutoverse.
Right.
So that's why we jokingly call him the Pokemon Master.
so he's so he's the next Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, imagine an Ash with Ang comparison, something
That
like
sounds,
that, a combo.
that sounds like an interesting concept.
Yeah, because you see, so we don't want to make, because this was something that was very important to us. We don't want to make the kids carbon copies of their fathers and of their parents, or take certain elements from other characters like they did with Borto. Basically, Borto is a Sasuke with blonde hair, in a way, in the sense that he's cool like Sasuke.
And less interesting.
Um, and we wanted to. I mean, of course, they do have elements from their
We'll really
parents.
say stuff cool.
The fact that you don't see him, it's a thing, but he was, in the actual original series at the beginning. If you look how everything starts, everyone looks up to Sasuke. Girls are impressed by him. He was the popular kid, even if he might have wanted to be or not. That's outside of his influence, if I may say so. But that's the premise, at least, that he starts with. And one of the things, as I said, we were very adamant about is not making the kids carbon copies of their parents. and giving them more of an original and organic feel to them. As I said, they're gonna have elements because, of course, after all, at the end of the day, they are their, you know, children's parents. But so, for example, Shina is a mix of Minato and Sakura, you would say, studious like Sakura, but the calm demeanor that Minato had. Hanami is basically a
A female
prankster,
Naruto.
a joker, a female, a combination of basically Naruto and Kushina um, in one character, from the personality point of view. But then from the power-ups point of view, she's more like Minato, I would say. Then here comes Arashi is basically a his mom in her childhood, being all introverted and not very confident in himself in the beginning and everything like this, being very closed down. But then Arashi is, in a way, ironically, I think the most original out of the kids, because the only trait that he had, the only definitive trait, is that he is, character wise, personality wise, as I said, similar to his mom in her young years, but but power wise, he's actually very original because he's all about, scrolls and Uzumaki techniques and stuff like that. So yeah, there's this, but of course, they each have this individuality, even if there are these, how should I say, character traits that are mixed, that do these callbacks to, um to the original, characters. They get to be their own characters because they're not carbon copies. They just have, those traits, because we all, inherit traits from our family and close family. But at the end of the day, we are our own person, and the way we develop with those traits is, our own thing.
Yeah, that's true. Like, they say I act but they say I act like more like my papa more than I act like my parents. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah, see, so basically you could say you're a Shinachiku.
That's a compliment.
Well, take it and enjoy it.
I've read a lot of fics, especially this one fic called Shinakachu's First Adventure.
Hmm.
It's and they and I like how they written Shinakachu and Hanami as siblings.
Hmm.
She worships him like a big brother, and he's very protective of her. And that's that. I feel that's very different from Naruto, and they make him. And I like how they make Shinakachu Sakura as smart as Sakura. Well, I don't know if he's smart as Sakura, but he's smart.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of intellect, he is like Sakura and Minato, because Sakura and Minato are actually very similar in terms of intellect as well. I've written an entire uh, Twitter thread on that specific. They're kind of like a foil to each other, because the Minakushi parallel isn't just from, the, how should I say, from the perspective of, oh, Sakura is like Kushina and Naruto, is like his dad in terms of the love story, in a way. No, 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 no. Sakura is very similar to Minato, because think about it. They both become really well known thanks to Uzumaki techniques. They both have this precision about the way they work with this with their techniques. They both are very studious and very good, very intelligent characters. They both come from clans that aren't, such big clans like the Senju or the Uzumakis or the Uchihas or so on and so forth. Um, they both make a name of for themselves, even if they're not special from a special clan. Sorry. So that's the thing people don't realize, that, or well, deny most of the times. Minakushi Parallel doesn't work only from the perspective of the love story. It works from the perspective of the character traits as well. It's kind of like uh it intersects. It's crossed between both.
Right. Venus, yes. Would you like anything to add?
I kind of feel Sakura's like intelligence. I kind of think like Sakura's intelligence downplayed a lot throughout the series.
She is, yeah. Which is such a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I was love how they make. Yeah,
She's
they
like
should.
as
What?
almost as smart as Shikamaru, isn't she?
Yeah,
Well, not as Shikamaru, but she's close second.
yeah. What they should have done is show more much of her intelligence. I think
Yeah,
she's when it comes to medicine. Here's what they should have done with Sakura in the first. Made her be interested in being a medical ninja. She wants to be a medical ninja because she wants to help those that are injured, and she wants to
Well,
save it.
she does become, though, a medical ninja from that very reason.
I mean,
Because
that should have been her goal from the start, rather than be a Sasuke fangirl.
honestly, I did like it this way as well, because it
You probably
shows
don't have
character growth.
Sasuke or Naruto be the reason she does that.
Yeah, maybe that can work.
I don't have problems the way it was. I have problems with the way that, it,
It was.
yeah, it was handled by the end, because man, Shippuden started so promising, but sadly, well, here we are.
Yeah,
Yeah, it did. But after like what the Tenchi Bridge, it kind of fell off.
yeah, and I remember Lucky Cheese said something like a lot of Narasaka said something like me and you and Lucky Cheese were discussing this, Phineas, about Narasaka always having Sasuke in their moments. I mean, in part two at least. I mean, which one that didn't have one? We were thinking. And I was thinking maybe the one where she
Yeah,
said,
for a good amount, it was.
"Yeah," and I I just remember one thing that didn't involve Sasuke, where she said, "Let me feed you," and Naruto blushed, and then Sai had to ruin the moment.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that Sasuke is always on their mind, no matter what.
Yeah, in my opinion, that I mean, I do understand, but Sasuke is a problem in their writing, both as a pairing and individual as a standalone characters.
I feel like he just holds them back.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it does and it doesn't at the same time. It's weird. The thing is, Kishi never allows them to grow past him, which I understand. They want to bring him home and yada yada yada, but at some point it becomes a detriment to their characters. I mean, look at Sakura. At least Naruto has some sort of saving grace. But Sakura, and the reason I say Naruto has some sort of saving grace is that in the power dynamics between the two, Naruto doesn't just sit there and takes it and goes crying and all this. This is something that Sakura is not allowed to do in the story, and it's so freaking annoying. At least had she had the resolve of standing up to him,
It is.
it would have made the pairing all more bearable. But when we see her, and the thing is, I don't know, in my opinion,
It
it's
would
not just
have.
about Sakura. They both bring the worst in each other. Because at the end of the day, Sakura did push herself in Sasuke's life in a way. I mean, they have her chase after him. God, for me, that is so degrading. As a girl, rule of thumbs is you don't chase boys. Sorry.
And,
I
and that was
mean, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
and I have a question for you, Chad.
Yeah.
About the when Nomura, I mean not Nomura, I mean Kishimoto said if Sakura moved on from Sasuke, she would be a
Oh.
terrible woman. How did that make you feel?
Oh my God, this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest issue I have with Kishi. To say that Sakura would be a terrible woman for moving on from Sasuke when you clearly show the development since chapter 3, then I mean Narusaku development isn't sudden. It's subtle and it starts in chapter 3. It continues in chapter 13 where she's like, "Oh my God, what is this that I'm feeling for Naruto?" I mean, I'm supposed to be in love with Sasuke. Why do I feel like this for Naruto, you know? So it's a really progressive development. And given that you show that Sasuke does all those things, I'm sorry, but for me to have them as a pairing, I'm telling you honestly, I cannot understand who ships Sasusaku honestly and are okay with this, especially girls.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
in real life, trust me, been there, done that. A guy like that isn't gonna change for you, especially in the sense that, okay, at least if we would have had, that's why I say, at least if we would have had a redemption uh, arc where you actually see Sasuke being really sorry for what he did. You actually see Sasuke, you know, being interested in being in Sakura's life and repenting for all those things that he did wrong to her. You actually see Sakura wanting to get more involved in Sasuke more than the surface level because with her it's very surface level what we get. That's what it's not making it's not clicking for me and it's not appealing. In part 1 it was appealing because it seemed that he was trying to do something with them. But here comes part 2 where there's nothing that shows me that these two characters are good for each other. I'm not here for you to tell me that they're good for each other. I'm here for you to show me that those characters. And when you come and say, after you make Sakura a terrible character for moving, but then again you come and say, "Oh, I couldn't write the reasonable enough, reasonable enough, how should I say, motive for Sakura to fall in love with Sasuke." I'm like, Kishi, what? If I would have had a daughter, I'm telling you honestly, Sasusaku is definitely not the example of a relationship I would give. Honestly. So for me, I think that's the biggest it's the biggest problem. Sorry, I have it as a person and as a girl with Kishimoto. Sorry.
we understand how you feel. To tell you the truth, when I read that comment, I had to make sure
Mm-hmm.
Was that
And it's ironic because let me tell you something that I don't know if I told up to this point in the fandom, but I'm old now. I don't care what people say.
I'm
I used
35.
same. When I came in contact with Naruto story, I was actually in a very bad and toxic relationship. So the reason I fell in love with Narasaku in a way was that, it gave me hope that even if it was, I was young back then and stupid, of course, but it gave me that hope that there has to be a boy in that big old world that can treat me right. So being in that kind of relationship and following the story for all these years, of course, I broke up with him and I'm much better now, but it was a life experience. And admiring Kishimoto so much, admiring his writing style, admiring his work, his characters, everything. If even Sasuke, I said I have a love-hate relationship with Sasuke. People only like to focus on the hate part, but I also have a love part. Um, anyway, I'm derailing with Sasuke to get back to the point. But to hear Kishi saying that, it's like he told me that I am this horrible person for breaking up with that guy who has been nothing but toxic to me. Toxic to the level that I'm telling you, years later, he came back and he wrote to me a message saying that he's sorry for all the bad things he did to me. So I'm not just saying out of my, you know, mouth to make myself look good and whatever, whatever. No, the guy actually wrote to me at some point that, hey, I know I've been so horrible to you. I know I did this, and that. I'm not gonna go into details right now. So it was like, what the fuck, Kishi? How can you say that? Would you be able? And that's I'm curious. I don't know if he has a daughter, but honestly, if I was ever to be in front with Kishimoto, um and know if he has a daughter, and I think he does have a daughter. I think he has three children, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it's two boys and one girl, the exact same formula, ironically, we have for Narsaku family.
mm,
And I would ask him, would you tell the same thing to your girl if a boy would treat her this bad and she would be heartbroken to this degree? Would you tell her the same thing, that she's a terrible woman if she wants to break up with him? That's the only question I would ask.
no, you're
That's
right. You're
that's
right.
a question. Like,
I know, and it's like, it's pairing preferences aside. You cannot show me a toxic relationship that doesn't work and it's demeaning, because what Sasuke does to Sakura in the war arc is very demeaning. He's like saying downright to her that you're useless and treating her so goddamn bad. And this is why, for me, it was so shocking to hear. But
And
honestly, one more thing and I'm going to end with it. I don't think he believed that truly. I think it was what was fed to them, because um the fandom basically, and I actually had someone at some point say the same thing to me currently, a Sasusaku fan, mind you. I mean, you say you love Sakura, but you call Sakura terrible for moving on from Sasuke? How does that work? I mean, I still love Sakura. I'm not, how should I say? I don't agree with Sasusaku, but I still love her. And I wouldn't call her, well, I did in the past because I was pissed off, but a lot of time has passed since then. And I have other beliefs right now. I evolved in that sense. But I mean, you guys should have evolved as well. To say that Sakura would have been a terrible woman for moving from Sasuke, where's your love for the character exactly? So I don't know, it's such a complicated thing. But the thing is, yeah, I didn't like it.
yeah, I, when I read that, when I first
you
read
could
the,
say that to the other girls too.
I mean, Ino moved on from Sasuke. Is she a terrible woman?
Well, she moved to Sasuke clone, so I
Uh,
suppose. But yeah, I mean, if you start, poking holes,
Or
so to
you
speak, in
could
the argument,
give that to apply that to Naruto and Lee as well.
yeah. And one of the things,
Because Naruto and Lee apparently got over Sakura.
yeah,
yeah.
but for boys it's okay to move on. For girls, it's not. That's my issue with Kishi. Even though I think he was fed up with this
Done
argument,
with
because
this.
I've seen in interviews, I've seen him regurgitating arguments that I've seen from others in the fandom. And remember, people used to write him letters. So probably if he saw, okay, this is what people are understanding from my story, this is what I'm gonna go with. Which is disappointing for me, honestly. And it so pisses me off when people are like, well, you're mad that she didn't choose Naruto, the nice guy. Yes, Naruto is a nice guy, but you're confusing the nice guy with the nice guy syndrome. Yes, the nice guy syndrome is actually used by dudes who have an issue with girls, and they're putting this nice guy mask to impress you in a certain way. But the nice guy syndrome is not equal to the actual nice guy. To a guy who values you, because that's what Naruto did. All he did was value Sakura and put her above his own needs. It's a totally different thing. And this is something that I actually want to make a video on because I'm so freaking tired and pissed in a way. Not pissed. Pissed is too much. But I'm tired of it. I'm tired to hear this argument that Narsaku's hate Sakura just because she didn't pick the nice guy. Dude, no. I always said that if it were me, I would have better had it end with an open ending or her being alone, but in a respectable position. I am I have the guts to even give up the pairing side of Sakura. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Venus? There he is.
What?
Would you give up the pairing side,
What
Sakura?
was the question?
What was the question, chat?
Do I have another
So,
pairing?
what would you choose between having Narasaku canon, but it demeans Sakura, it chips away at her importance in the story? Or do you want her to be, single, but she has a very respectful role in the story?
I'd rather have a respectable role in the story because you could do
Exactly.
you could still do a lot with her.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I always said, and I'll keep saying till I'm, I don't know, old and gray, I guess. I would rather Sakura be alone, or I don't know, with a third character that no one freaking knows about. Let's say like this. But I would have her rather be alone than have Narasaku, but have a really respectful character than her shipping status chipping away at her status as a standalone character in the story.
Right. And
I'd probably go with the role too, but like maybe work up to her and Naruto getting together. Like,
yeah, that could work too.
Yeah, I mean, it could work, absolutely. It's still the better option.
It
But
is.
as I said, if I if I were to give Narsaku so
I
that
just don't
Sakura
want
has a better
Sasuke
role,
to be
I
in the
would.
picture with this.
No,
Yeah.
they can both be. Sakura, at least in my opinion, Sasuke can be in the picture, Naruto can be in the
Actually, I'd
picture.
find a balance between the two options.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the
And
thing.
I try to find a balance between these two options. For Sakura is still prevalent, and with Naruto.
I mean, of course, if I'm to pick between Sasaki and Narasaku, it's always going to be Narasaku, hands down.
Yeah, me too.
That's not even a question.
We're Narusaku fans.
Yeah,
Well,
There's
no.
reason.
Sasaki is like wouldn't even. I wouldn't even. Even if you like try to force me to say Sasaki is good, I'd say no.
don't.
Even
In
through
my opinion,
torture, I wouldn't agree to that.
I think it could be good, but you would have to work a lot of things inside the story.
I respectfully disagree. I don't.
I just don't
Of
see
course, you don't have
Sasuke as
to agree
ever
with
being
me.
likable enough.
Right, right. we're not. We're not. Let's not argue.
We don't have to argue, even if we might have different opinions, and
I'm just
that
saying, like,
still
I
doesn't mean
can't.
we're arguing.
but, but but according to the internet,
It's fine. It's
we if we disagree, we gotta argue.
Oh yeah, I'm so tired of the internet these days, honestly.
Yeah. Well, let's write on it another time. Let's. I'm gonna.
By the way, I won't
because
be able to
honestly,
say
I
that
just
much
don't
with
find
you.
Sasuke to be likable at all. Honestly,
Eh, as I
Yeah,
said, I do have a love-hate relationship, so there's also a love part there.
good that Sasuke is Yuri voicing him.
and Yuri's probably the best Spider-Man. In my
Granted, Yuri's given nothing to work with, but he's the only good thing.
yeah, and in my opinion, he's the best voice for Spider-Man.
All Sasuke does this whole series is complain.
Yeah, he basically Anakin. Well, I would compare him to Anakin Skywalker because
The thing
Anakin
is,
Skywalker has reasons to complain.
Sasuke does too. Though let's not forget that his entire family was killed, sorry,
But
and he was tortured
yeah,
multiple times.
I understand
I don't know
his
if you guys ever
family was
had a
killed, but
trauma. I hope you didn't. But trust me, it's not easy to work through trauma. Mental, so in a way, I do understand
I
Sasuke's
understand
point.
that it's just,
It's just that there's a point between being a victim, and this is something that Kishi didn't, in my opinion at least, didn't explore properly. There's a point of being a victim of your circumstances and, succumbing to those and living in the victim mentality where you know, get to basically harm the ones around you, and a point between taking your destiny, let's say, in your own hands and making the right choices. And this is something that I feel in Sasuke's character as much as I have love for him, because as I said, for me it's a love-hate relationship. I also have hate, but I also have love. Um, but yeah, this is the point that Kishi didn't exactly properly explored with him. And this is the reason why people are so radicalized when it comes to Sasuke. You either have half the fandom loves him to the point of madness, or the other half of the fandom with people hate him to the point of madness. There's no middle ground because Kishi didn't explore the middle ground between victimhood and actually doing something for yourself. So then people, as I said earlier, radicalize themselves in one way or the other. And here comes people like, I don't know, me, and I don't know if I've ever met other. I'm not saying that, oh, I'm so special. No, it's just that it's so hard. I've never been able. I'm no, actually, I'm not realizing what I'm saying right now because I do realize I do have few people, but there are few people whom I can actually have the middle ground talk with regarding Sasuke, where we can explore, both the bad side and the good side of his character. And yes, trauma is indeed difficult to go through.
I get what
Um,
I mean, there's other characters that gone through trauma, but that I've seen.
I agree that Kishi didn't really give us a good reason to actually get on Sasuke's side with this.
Right.
No, you know what the issue is? Kishi
Because
did
I
give
think
us.
and the versions I see are done better.
Like
You know what?
One Piece. Robin's backstory was so tragic that I I basically cried when I watched it, and she had more reason. She has more depth than Sasuke, right, Phineas?
Or yeah, or Ezio in Assassin's Creed Kratos and God of War. Problem is, I feel like nobody really reached out to try and help Sasuke after the massacre happened.
Yeah, that's the problem. And one of the problem is that you have these two opposing
Or see
forces.
how this affected him mentally.
Well, you did see it though in his defense. You do see it when he meets Itachi and he puts him in the Infinite Tsukuyomi, and it's shown to us that, he is torturing him over and over and over again, having to relieve the massacre so many times in the Infinite Tsukuyomi. So you cannot say that he didn't show it to us. Maybe you can say that he could have done a better job at it, but he did show it to us. So we do have a basis. I think the problem is
Then
that
like it
at
could have
this,
like the third Hokage could have given him like help for it.
Right.
yeah, I guess.
I feel like Sasuke was more of a loose cannon with the when he was a ninja.
But I think that's the part of the whole mental struggle. And he's a character that's very much manipulated because then think about it. He meets Obito, who comes around and fucks him up, sorry for the language, even more with the whole Uchiha massacre thing. And the interesting part is we don't even know if that's true because think about it. Obito is actually the one who helps with the massacre. So we cannot be sure that all these things that he does say to Sasuke are true. He's like an unreliable narrator. But that's the information Sasuke gets. He cannot, since no one is alive anymore to corroborate, he cannot get the right facts, let's say, like this. So he's only left with believing whatever Obito chooses to tell him, which, let's remember, all that he's doing is just manipulating him to use him for his own plans. So this is something that I feel like it's missing from a lot of people's analysis. For example, I read that at some point a really good Twitter account on the Uchiha massacre and the genocide and how they were and Blue would definitely know about this because we did talk, I believe, and how they were oppressed. And partially it's right, but partially it's not right at the same time because that's, in my opinion, the element
I
that
feel it's more
people.
of a
Oh,
retcon.
yeah, in a way, I do feel like that as well. But even if it is, let's say it's not a retcon, let's say it was like that from the very get-go, though I agree with you. But let's take it at the face value. Even if we take it at the face value, as I said, how can we trust Obito, who's been behind the Uchiha massacre, that he's telling 100% the truth? See what I mean? So it's a lot more nuanced than
We can't.
people tend to oversimplify it.
Right. Um.
Because I feel like because if you're in part one, everybody just praised you Uchihas. So where did all this oppressed thing come from? Like nobody's talking about it in part one.
Exactly. Yeah. What I was like, Sasuke, you feel everyone praise you like you're the next. Well, I wouldn't say Jesus Christ, but you get what I mean. But they praise him like he's a prodigy, like he's basically I would say he's Timmy from Secret of Dim 2. You ever, from all I know is from the Nostalgia Critic review, and he's basically that. They treat him like he's some sort of prodigy, even though he's done nothing yet. And I gotta kind of get pissed off about stories like that.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
like a and that's what made Naruto more interesting than Sasuke. He was kind of a loner. He was a loner. He was
I
people
kind of feel
abused
that
him.
chosen one narrative ruined Naruto.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's take Sora from Kingdom Hearts for example. He was the Keyblade's chosen one, but then Riku took the Keyblade away from him until the Keyblade heard that Sora had a stronger heart than Riku's, and the Keyblade went back to him. And I gotta tell you, that's way more interesting than what happened in Naruto. And Xehanort called it Sora a dull, ordinary boy.
Because
And
Sora is more interesting.
And Sora wasn't the chosen one, but that doesn't matter. He's still a great hero. He was still a great hero.
You made the argument that he got the Keyblade's heart within his.
Yeah, that's true. But still.
Anyways, guys, I won't be able to join you guys that much to still be here that much in like 10 minutes. I have to kind of drop because it's late here, and I have some unfinished business for today.
That's fine.
So, but it was really really nice talking to you.
Yeah, it was fun having you here. Me and Vanitas will finish it off.
Yeah, that's okay then. Thank you. Likewise, and even if I didn't reply too much because I was talking, do know that I read everything and I agree.
Yeah, me and Vanitas will finish it off. Then I'll post it later. Take care.
Okay, take care as well, and thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Man, that was fun. We're gonna continue for 10 more minutes.
It
okay.
Was.
Then I'll stop and. Okay. What else have we talked about? We need to talk about about the 10th year anniversary. The fan. Would you say the fandom has the fandom has gotten most of the fandom?
I feel like we're in the apathy phase of this.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that I read that the only ones that liked it were just the Naruhina fans. And I have not read a neutral fan that said this was pretty good.
Yeah, I've
what about
not seen it either.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they exist, but they're just not vocal about it. And I admit
they're very rare, I feel.
Yeah. And and a lot of it, and I read a lot of them say, "I'm done with Naruto." Gave up on Naruto after. Of course, some gave up after the war arc, but I stick through until I've figured out because I wanted to see how it ended. And I looking back at it now, part of me wishes I didn't, but part of me glad I did because it got me to talking to you guys. Do you have the same conflicting feeling?
I look back on it like good up until a certain point, knowing where it goes.
Right. But still, I'm glad I became a Naruto fan because, like I said, I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to Flaming Lincoln
Yeah.
here, and I like you guys. Yeah, and I mean, Flaming Lincoln said neutral fans were not that happy or disappointed. Most fans were either pro or anti. Anti were non-shippers, and SK. Pro was we all know we're full in. Well, guess we know who was right now. LOL.
Yeah, there's no middle ground in this.
Right.
It's either you're on one side or the other. There's no middle ground.
There's also, and I keep, and a lot of people, and I bet a lot of people are tired of comparing this to Kingdom Hearts, but I used to say that Sora and Naminé is Naruhina done right. I take that back because Naminé is way more developed and more interesting than Hinata. I mean, she has a backbone. Remember in Chain of Memories when Marlo.
At least Naminé was important to like. Chain of Memories was Naminé's game and like the opening of 2 with Roxas.
Yeah.
Because Naminé actually matters to the story.
Exactly. I know. My favorite, and I love that scene where she said, "I don't care what you do to me. I won't hurt Sora again."
Yeah.
And I don't know who's the better nominee, Brittany Snow or Meghan Markle.
That's a good question.
I mean, we all know Hayden is the better Kyrie.
Oh yeah, she is. Oh yeah, I forgot 358 over 2.
Yeah, I never played that game.
I forget that game exists a lot.
Yeah, all I know is it was part of the remake.
Only choice moments I remember from that game.
Yeah. Here's what we should have discussed. What was your top 5 Narasaku moments? We don't have the time to do top 5, but we'll do 3. My number 1, of course, it was the CPR, but I think better moments happened before that, like the Tenchi Bridge.
The hug.
Yeah, the hug. Actually, the hug when the pain arc.
I think the hug is my number 1.
What?
Okay, 3 for me. Number 3 is the CPR scene. 2 is the Tenchi Bridge, and then 1 is the hug.
Yeah,
the hug just felt more genuine.
Yeah, when I saw that hug, I, along with many others, including Naruhina fans, and don't say you knew it wasn't going to happen. You Naruhina fans, you thought Narasaki was going to happen, like we did.
No, they were just ignorant, probably from it.
Yeah, that if Naruhina was planning to explain that, why didn't Hinata go to Naruto and hug him? Because she did not
plan. The hug should not have happened at all.
Because that wasn't planned.
Okay, if
Naruhito was like,
Naruhito was planned, Hinata would have given him the hug. Think about
yeah,
that.
exactly. And another rant. Naruto giving up on Sasuke goes against. I mean, Sakura goes against Naruto as a character because one of his goals was to be Hokage and be with Sakura.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, Sakura was like, I feel interchangeable with his goal of becoming Hokage.
Yeah,
And
that's
I feel
true.
if he gave up being Hokage to be a character,
Yeah,
that's something I always do in my stories. Like, without Sakura, he can't. Being Hokage wouldn't mean anything if he didn't have Sakura with him.
yeah. I'm writing. Like I said, I'm writing a Naruto One Piece crossover. I'm gonna have a scene where he said later on. I'm gonna have a scene where he says, "If I had to choose between Sakura or being Hokage, I would choose Sakura all over because I love her that much." And in fact, I might have him say it in my other
because like in
stories.
Remember in Spider-Man 2 where MA tells him. Do you remember in Spider-Man 2 where MA tells him he's sometimes you have to be steady and give up the thing they want the most?
Yeah.
I feel like that could apply to Naruto as well.
Yeah. But I doubt Sakura would allow him to give up on his dream, though. Do you?
He probably would just wait a bit more to become Hokage.
Yeah. And you know, if Sakura married Naruto, he would not be the neglectful father he is now. Sakura wouldn't allow it.
Ow, ow.
You okay?
Flaming Lycan says, I'd say Naruto giving up on Sakura, which was kind of out of OC worse.
Yeah, I agree.
And I said,
And
oh yeah, it did. It ruined both as characters.
and to this day, I have not, nor plan to, have ever watched the movie.
You're not really missing anything. It's really boring.
I bet. I mean, I had a lot of fun watching One Piece Strong World. That was so far, and
Basically, the last is look at all these Narahina moments we're forcing in here at the last minute.
yeah,
It's one of the most boring villains ever.
I mean, he's so boring. He makes Turtle from Battlefield Earth look memorable. Well, you were still learning how to spell your name. Just,
I think even the worst One Piece villain is more memorable than Toei.
yeah, you know how I just have a
I mean,
theory
Holby's more memorable.
yeah, I just have a theory on how the Naruto movie was in development. Kishi was writing the script, and chart guys came in and said, "You must write Naruto and Hinata together." What? That goes against everything I wrote. Yes, but the chart says that Naruhina is more popular. And one thing, technology advanced in the Naruto universe. I thought that was kind of dumb too.
Yeah, that's all in the span of what, 15 years?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they had television there and radios.
They do, but advanced TV like we've got.
Right, it's like 1990s TV, or right? 19, you could say it's 1990s, which is probably the best decade ever.
Plus, they have like
We'll talk about.
discount like PSPs on and as like their video games. I'm like, how?
Yeah, really. Tony
I
Stark.
mean, you can argue that like the other villages pool their resources, but still,
Uh, nothing about this adds up. Another way to fix the ending, is not have Kakashi be Hokage. Instead, have Naruto be the sixth Hokage. That should have been. I think that should have been done from the start too. I don't think. Kishi did not plan Kakashi being Hokage. That was rushed in. Do you agree with that?
yeah. The way I have it in mind is that Naruto is the sixth, and then Sakura is the seventh.
Who's the seventh?
I have Sakura as the seventh.
Yeah, I have Haname replacing him be the seventh when he retires.
I only have Sakura as seventh. Naruto's away somewhere, and the village will be safe in her hands.
Yeah. DC Naruto going on a mission, and then he's in the middle of a fight. Then someone tells him Sakura's about to give birth. He beats up the bad guys, and then tells his crew to arrest, and then rushes to the hospital to be with her.
That could have worked since Gara was fifth way much earlier than anyone else. Why couldn't Naruto do the war?
Right. And there's plenty of other things, but I'm pretty sure we're almost out of time. I'm giving us 15,
Yeah.
10 more minutes, okay? So we'll.
Okay.
And was there any reason?
Isn't it just like the Naruto world just feel small compared to like other series?
What'd you say?
Like there's little world building.
Yeah,
I feel the Naruto world is kind of small compared to like One Piece
Yeah,
or like My Hero. Like they don't do any world building.
and that's disappointing because you need a world bend in order to. You need to build up your world and make the audience wish that that was real, and like we do with like we do with
And
One
it took
Piece.
us how long to meet the Kages?
I don't know.
It took us like 400 chapters to meet the other three Kages.
It should have happened earlier, and we got to know them better.
Plus, I criticize their whole stance on letting the Jinchuriki get taken by the Akatsuki.
Yeah. Just so frustrating.
The more you think about this series, the less sense it makes.
Yeah. I'm in One Piece. I see a lot of callbacks when they go back to earlier chapters. That's what Oda does. Yes, suspension disbelief can work, but how you but it depends on how you do it. I could believe all that. Am I right?
And it only goes so.
Um, I guess we can. I guess we can end it here for now. Okay. We'll do the rest. We'll do Naruto, One Piece, Fishman Island next week. Me and you. Okay.
All right.
Uh,
See ya.
Okay. See ya. Take care.